Wondery Plus subscribers can listen to Crime and Sports early and ad-free right now. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
In the depths of an Atlanta forest, a clash between activists and authorities ends in tragedy. I'm Matthew Scher, and on my new podcast, We Came to the Forest, we expose the hidden truths behind a shootout that left one activist dead and countless lives forever changed. Binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest ad-free on Wondery Plus.
Welcome back to Crime and Sports.
Yay!
Giving you that yay, Jimmy. Let it rain. Mm-hmm. That yay, rain. My name is James Petrogallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I am Jimmy Wisman.
Man, are we pumped today?
Fucking
as
every
always.
week.
We're always pumped for Crime and Sports.
Awesome.
A couple things up front here. First, got to thank everyone for their iTunes reviews this week because they were awesome.
Closing in on 1,000.
Closing in on 1,000 because of you guys. That is huge. Thank you guys. If you haven't done it yet, I know it takes 30 seconds. Please get on iTunes. Give us, say you're following instructions, following directions. Just give us 5 stars. It helps on the business end. We would appreciate it a great deal. Also, you can get on patreon.com/crime and sports. Mm-hmm. Drop us a donation if you feel like it. If you want to do a one-time donation, you can go to PayPal. crimeandsports@gmail.com. No problem. You can get on truecrimecomedyteam.com.
You can do that.
You can buy T-shirts.
You betcha.
You can do that. First of all, Jimmy, do you realize that right now, as we're recording, and all you folks listening, we are recording our 100th show.
This is 100?
This is episode 75 of Crime and Sports, and we have episode
25.
We just recorded 25 of Small Town Murder. So this right now is our 100th recording. So we're sitting there. Thank you guys for being there for 100 recordings.
This is cool.
And let's do a few hundred more. What do you say, dude? Let's do it. Let's do it up. So thank you guys for that, though. We wouldn't even be doing it anymore if no one cared. So thank you guys immensely for everything.
The fact that you guys do care is fucking bananas to me in the first place.
For your ears, for your kind words, for your donations,
this
for
is
everything.
Essentially what James and I would be doing over the phone without you guys.
Yeah.
And you guys fucking listen to it, and that's amazing.
Thank you guys. Also, you want to come to Stand Up Live in Phoenix.
Yes.
Come to Stand Up Live in Phoenix, July 21st through the 23rd. Mm-hmm. Come out there. I'll be performing.
James at the club. That's
I'll be at the club.
Right.
Also, don't just go and
go
show
see
up.
James.
Go see me at the club, but also see the headliner there, who is my buddy Paul Verzi, who is amazing, hilarious comic. You really keep an eye on this guy. He's recording his 1-hour special that Bill Burr is also performing on, and Pete Davidson.
They're producing it.
Yeah, they're producing it and performing too at the show. Right. He's Bill Burr's guy. They work together all over the country. He's just doing Toronto or Just for Laughs in Montreal.
Right.
You want to see this guy. He's an amazing headliner, and I'm going to rip it up too. I got to say a little bit. I'll be good and angry for you folks. And if you wanted to come see us, you can get a hold of me and I will put you on the list. So you can do that. You can either do, crimeandsports@gmail.com. You can do that, or you can do, I won't give you my email address because you'll have to spell my last name. So just do crimeandsports@gmail.com and I'll keep track and I'll put you on the list if you want that. One more weird thing to plug. Sarah and I, my girlfriend Sarah, who I do P.S. I Hate This Movie with, the other podcast that you should be watching, you should be listening to also, in addition to Small Town Murder. We moved into a house in August, as you know, and at this house was a cat.
Oh, Christ.
Ed. You know Ed.
Yeah, I know Ed.
Okay.
He's a sweetheart.
Ed the cat's the coolest cat. He's outside. They apparently he was a stray, and they had kind of taken him in, these people, and then they just moved and left him there.
And now he's yours. He comes with the house.
Sarah is deathly allergic to cats. Her throat closes up. She cannot be around cats. Yeah. So I can't let him in.
He's like my cat, like my wife.
This poor cat.
Sarah's like my wife.
So this poor cat, Ed, has to live outside. And I try to feed him and I try to take care of him, but the poor guy lives outside and there's nothing I can do about it. Jimmy, how sweet is this cat?
I can't tell you. He's loud. He's so sweet and vocal.
He wants to meow.
And he wants you to rub him. That's what his vocal is about.
Yeah. Jimmy came
come
over.
Here and pet me.
Met this cat and just went once and just said, "Hey, buddy," and it rolled him over and was petting his belly. I mean, that's the kind of cat this is.
He's awesome.
Get a hold of us if you live in the Phoenix area or you're going to be passing through anywhere in Arizona and you're looking for a really, really nice, awesome cat.
Unbelievable cat.
And you'd be helping us out also. And you can be Ed the Crime and Sports Cat. You can say that
there
forever.
You go. And tweet him at us every week.
Tweet him at us every week. And if you want a picture of him, I'll send you pictures. I know that's a weird thing to plug at the top of the podcast. But this poor fucking cat, I don't know what else to do at this point. So get that all out of the way. let's get to some asshole. What do you say, Jimmy? There's plenty of asshole this week. Right. We have so much asshole this week. It's incredible. So much asshole. What a weird.
Jesus.
This is a weird story. Okay. This isn't like last week where it's just I hate this guy. Yeah. How many people wanted to kick his ass last week?
That was ridiculous.
The storm of Twitter people just like
the storm of I want to throw up on him.
After I kick the shit out of him. Yeah, I want to throw up on his corpse.
There was people that tweeted us 15 minutes before the end of the show too. That were like, "This is the best show yet," and then they're like, "This is the worst show yet."
Fuck you guys!
How dare you?
You guys are dicks.
We didn't do it. Fucking Zoom off did it.
He did it. This is a hard guy to get a handle on. The guy we're going to do today.
Okay.
It's Tim Montgomery.
Don't know him.
Tim Montgomery. He's an Olympic sprinter.
Oh,
an Olympian.
I never would have guessed that.
No, these Olympians. There actually was a baseball player named Tim Montgomery.
Okay,
it's confused with him very often. Not a good one, but you've never heard of him. You fucked up. This is not. You didn't think you meant the other guy. Don't worry.
Are you sure?
Yeah, he was a minor leaguer. You've never heard of him.
Yeah. No.
So anyway, this guy here.
I felt like maybe I had his card.
No. He's an Olympian, and these Olympians are weird. It's such a different culture than anything else. Yeah. They're like taken aside. We'll get into it.
Here's
so
the
strange.
thing about baseball cards, though, too. When you had like if you loved the A's, or let's say you loved the Orioles, there was like 4 people that were, but every team had like 6 or 8 people that they'd put on the baseball card. So you'd always have a couple that were fucking useless.
Bums. Yeah. Well, also too, they'd bring up they'd put out cards of guys that they thought were going to be on the team, and then they got sent back to the minors. So
then you might have a Tim Montgomery.
Yeah, you might have had a Tim Montgomery card. Well,
that's my point.
This Tim Montgomery, different guy, born January 28th, 1975 in Gaffney, South Carolina. Ends up growing up to be 5'10", 160. He's a sprinter, so he doesn't have to be a huge guy. Not like a lot of the guys we talk about who he's enormous.
Right.
None of that stuff here. As a child, he's always he's always fast.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, this sprinting isn't something that like you come into, like you hit puberty and then I got fast all of a sudden. Like, this is you're always the fastest guy. Like, you can't be an Olympic top level sprinter and that's genetic.
Here's the thing. I used to run a lot when I was a kid, and I was fast as shit.
Yeah.
And then I got into puberty when
and it's worse.
Well, I got into puberty and I didn't grow, and other people grew and their legs were longer. So I was still fast. I looked fast as shit because my legs were really moving.
Yeah.
I just wasn't going anywhere.
This guy has international speed. Yeah. Internationally amazing speed.
Okay.
Like, it's a different thing. Like,
he can beat Kenyans?
Apparently so. Yeah.
All right.
He loved running always as a kid. Like, when he was a little kid, he'd be watching cartoons.
Yeah.
And during the commercial break, he'd go run around the house a few times. As fast as he could. He'd get up, go run around the house. It seems like he's just hyperactive as shit. And they were like, yeah, sure, run. It's just good for you. Yeah. It's like what I do with my son. Yeah. Keep going. Yeah,
Keep
run.
Running.
You'll fall asleep early tonight. Go
run it out.
Run it out, buddy. So he's doing this, and he has these memories where he says, I remember the wind in my face, and I knew I was fast. And he has this, they really over-dramatize his speed.
That's just his parents keeping him from watching the commercials, forcing him to buy the fucking garbage toys.
Yeah.
You remember those, like that monster that had the chains that you would fucking break them?
There were so many shit toys. If you go on YouTube, they have 80s commercials and 90s commercials, whole blocks of them, and I'll go on there watch them sometimes, and these fucking toys were so lousy. I remember as a kid, they tried to sell them to us. It's like, it doesn't even correspond to anything.
No.
It doesn't correspond to a show or a movie, or it's just a weird dinosaur thing that shoots rockets out of his mouth. It's so weird.
Even when they did, like, they had the Ninja Turtles shoot pizza out of their shell. Like, what the fuck? That never happened in the show or the movie.
You need to buy the first turtle and then the pizza shooting turtle, and then you have to buy all the goddamn turtles. In the 70s and 80s, people started spoiling their kids.
Right. The TV show didn't pay shit. The TV show was pointless. It was just a vehicle to get the goddamn lunchbox in your kid's hand.
Toys. Right. That's it. Now, I saw this feature on him. This is the funniest shit.
And I just put that together right now, mind you. I feel so bad for my parents that had to buy that shit for me.
You were like, no, I want the dinosaur that shoots thing, the pizza shooting shells.
They got me. Those bastards.
No, they got all of us.
This fucking bald white man in a suit sitting in a chair somewhere, giggling his ass off that little Jimmy can't fucking get his parents that can't afford shit to buy him this awful toy.
The way they set up the commercials, too, was like, clearly, like, if you look at it as an adult, clearly this toy does nothing.
No.
And they showed in a commercial, like, this low angle of it climbing climbing up a hill where the kids are like, whoa. I
want that.
And it's just very slowly, barely getting up a small grade hill. And you're like, that toy sucks.
I have to have that, though, because I'm 8 and I don't know any better.
You'd be getting home going, this toy sucks. And then your parents are mad at you because they had to buy it. It's a mess.
And then they have to buy another shit toy because that one didn't hold your attention.
Exactly.
Right.
So,
and the batteries die too fucking quick.
That's always. There's a feature on him that I saw, this video, that is hilarious because the presenter, the host, a voiceover person, narrator, took a while to get to narrator. The narrator of this is, I believe, Australian by the accent on him. Okay. Possibly not New Zealand. It's not England. Pretty sure it's Australian anyway. But the words they use are funny. In this feature, it claims, quote, by the age of 12, he was an illicit street racer racing for money against men twice his age.
Like running?
What the fuck is that? I have never in my entire life seen a shitload of people gathered to gamble on unorganized foot races. Have you ever fucking seen that? Is that what Fast and Furious 8's going to be?
Right.
Like that's fucking 12-year-old kids lined up? No cars anymore. We're doing this
Diesel's
on foot.
running against 12-year-olds.
People fucking betting their, whatever on it.
You got the Yakuza standing behind them betting on shit.
What kind of a fucking degenerate gambler do you have to be to go, I'm going to go down on the street and I'm going to bet on a 12-year-old racing an adult on foot? What the fuck?
The only way to make that even semi-interesting is somebody bringing a black market cheetah and being like, outrun this shit. And when you don't, we're all going to laugh at you being mauled by it.
Oh my God. And just the fact that it's an illicit street racer. Like, were the cops looking to bust up street running rings? Like, how would you even know?
And this is Australia that they do that?
No. This is happening in Gaffney, South Carolina.
Oh, yeah. This is just the
video.
New
the way they said
Zealand
it, an illicit street racer. And I was like, illicit street racer? I said, I'm thinking, did he steal cars? And then they're like, racing men twice his age for, and they were talking about foot races. I'm like, they're talking about foot races. What is this? At first I was like, oh, this is interesting. At 12, he's like stealing cars and racing them. Like, this kid's, this
racing
would be a good story.
in the streets of Gaffney.
He's racing. What the... if anyone out here has ever heard of that, people will gamble on fucking anything.
By the way, I think Fast and Furious is beyond 8 by now.
Oh, I don't have any idea what the fuck they're on.
Whatever the
9,
next one
10,
is, 27.
12-year-old kids racing
running.
adults, and people like acting real dark about it too. Like, I'm gonna put 20,000 on the kid. Like
on the kid,
and they go there, shoot him up with steroids, and like, come on, kid, you can do it. And who's the guy he's racing? Who's the guy who's racing against?
Who's the guy that's like stayed in shape his whole life just to run for that one night? You know
against
what I mean?
A 12-year-old.
Yeah.
If you're down on the street worried about the cops picking you up because you're foot racing 12-year-olds, you need to really
You got a pretty good life, by the way.
You need to figure it out, what you've been doing.
You need to cut that shit out and just get back to your UPS job and knock it off.
Yeah, knock it off is a good way to put it.
And go be a Jimmy John's fucking delivery man.
Run away.
They're talking about their freaky fast.
Speaking of that, we have that actually goes into this here. He claims that his, quote, race handler... He's got a pit crew. First of all, I'm like, this is what I mean. This is like race handler. What does that mean?
Come on in, bring it in for a pit stop. We're gonna put some new Nikes on you.
That just also makes me think that there's a guy like looking for fast kids. Like, was he looking for ringers to be
the creepiest shit ever.
If anyone asks you if you want to bet on a street race between a child and an adult, don't do it.
Just walk away.
Just walk away. There's something shady going on here. His race handler.
That's silly.
That's
ridiculous.
It's an organized thing. Unreal. Saw potential in him as a drug runner.
Whoa.
He said this guy would be a good drug runner, this 12-year-old kid.
Runner, anything. Any runner.
Jimmy John's delivery person.
Fucking auto parts runner. I don't care. Have him run something.
So what this guy did is, this race handler guy, he saves up enough money to become a drug dealer and recruits Tim as his runner. Like a fucking literal runner.
So he was like, that guy could be a good drug runner. Yeah. I'm not into drugs. I'm going to save some money and get into him and use him.
But this was like his, he saw this kid.
And that got him into selling drugs.
Want to sell drugs. He's like, if I gave this to a real fast kid and he ran with it, how about... I've never this is like he wants him to be an actual drug runner on foot.
He's gonna actually run it.
Run it. Like, I got an idea. Get anybody with a car.
Right.
The drug runner now.
They're faster.
They're faster. It's quicker. It's less suspicious than a small child running through the streets with a shitload of drugs.
Backpack of fucking coke on his back.
It doesn't seem okay. But
this is hilarious already.
Like a literal drug. So he's 12. He's done illicit street racing.
Right.
And then his race handler, he inspired a man. He inspired an adult to buy drugs so he could run them on foot across town.
And by the way,
what the fuck is going on?
You're strapping weight to this kid who runs fast without it. And you're going to slow him down.
That's it. I don't understand. Yeah, you're going to slow him down a little, maybe.
Just put him in a fucking car.
Put him in just hire someone with a fucking car.
Just hire
an adult
a cabbie.
With a car.
Hire a cabbie, throw the shit in the trunk.
I don't even know, man. He said he would help the drug dealer move the drugs. They said that he said that they would give him drugs and he would have him run through the woods if there was any police trouble also. That was also his job. He was the runaway guy. Like on The Wire, which you've never watched, which you should be watching. On The Wire, they always had a designated guy.
Yeah.
Like when the cops came, they'd give it to the one kid. They give it to someone who was 12 years old to run because he can't get busted, really. Right. So it would be no big deal. And they'd just go, run. And that kid would take the drugs and literally fucking run away, knowing that he had the drugs, too. Like he would be showing the bag because that lets everybody else get away while they chase the guy with the drugs. That's how it works. That was his job, basically. He said, if there's any police trouble, he'd run through the woods. And he also just ran drugs. He also just transported them. They'd be like, hey, we have a bunch of a shipment over here. We need to get it to the other side of town. Can you just run that over for us? And he would just fucking run it over. Unreal. We have an in their own words about this whole thing here. Okay. We have a lot of in their own words. I had to pick and choose. There's so many. This guy won't shut the fuck up. It's in Montgomery.
His mouth runs like his feet, huh?
It runs just like it. He says, in their own words, quote, running in the streets, I became popular. I became one of the guys. I was known for my speed. If the police came through, I may take the drugs and run. It was a game to us. It was the police against us. One day we were out there on the block and my friend just had a gun. And it was my first time ever seeing a gun or any of us just having a gun. It was always just fist fights or arguments or pushing and shoving, but never no one getting shot. And he got in an argument and he shot this guy in the head. It changed my way of thinking. It changed me forever.
What the fuck?
That was his wake-up call that the streets might not be the best place for him, was watching his friend shoot somebody in the head over an argument.
He learned firsthand he can't outrun a bullet.
No, you can't outrun not at all. And it's funny, too, because that's the escalation. Is illicit street racing, drug running, literally on foot, and then guy getting shot in the head. All right, that's a little much.
Quit.
I'm out of here. I'm out.
Did he go back to illicit street racing?
He did not. Okay. He actually went into a different form of racing because he was a teenager by then. So he was actually running, and he was a really fast guy. He ran in high school, was extremely fast. He got a scholarship to Blinn College in Texas. Okay, that's a top tier school.
I imagine.
In the tournament every year, big time athletics.
Never heard of it.
It's a junior college in Texas, a Blinn College in Texas, where he ran track there too. They gave him a full scholarship, and then he transfers to Norfolk State in Virginia, Norfolk State University, and becomes a huge track star.
Okay,
big track star. It's sports in a smaller, because Norfolk State isn't exactly, Texas or Michigan or Notre Dame or somewhere like that. Yeah. So I'm sure they don't have like a nationally recognized quarterback or anything like that.
I've never heard of it.
If you're a really fast guy in track and you run for Norfolk State, you're like big man on campus.
Oh, I'm sure.
People respected him. They looked up to him. Just the big track star in college. Like everyone was, that's the guy. That's him. You know what I mean?
Used to run drugs.
Yeah, that's the guy. Oh man, he beat old men in the streets for money.
He legit runs drugs.
Legit. He would later admit, and shadiness starts a little early with him here, as from the other things. He would later admit that during this college stint at Norfolk State, he actually went against the NCAA rules by signing a $98,000 shoe contract with ASICS, which I've never seen ASICS in anything but like that weird wrestler shoe. So I don't know what the fuck they're
a very popular running shoe, actually.
Are they?
Yeah, they actually provide the most support for runners.
Will not run unless someone is chasing me, or I'm playing a sport.
I may not even run then. It might,
I go, what do you want,
just be
dude?
my time.
Seriously, what do you want from me? What do you want? Kill me? Fine. I don't give a shit.
You know how much shit I gotta put up with every day? This might just be a fucking blessing.
Do me a favor. Yeah. Okay? Tell you what, I'll turn my back. Yeah. You do what you gotta do.
Guess who's not scared of death? Yes. I kind of welcome it sometimes. Like there are definitely days that I'm just like, I don't give a shit.
Whatever.
I don't fucking care.
Do your worst. Do your worst. So, this was, like I said, a violation, but he doesn't get caught for this in college. So, hey, again, he doesn't got caught for anything yet. Yeah. He's just, probably emboldening him a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, he was running drugs through the woods and has not been arrested. This is probably very easy for him to do.
Yeah, no, absolutely. At 19, he ran the 100 meters in 9.96 seconds.
That seems fast as shit.
It made him the first teenager to run a sub-10-second 100 meter, and he set the world junior record.
Wow.
At the age of 19. Problem was, so he's the fastest teenager in the world at this point, 19. Problem was, it ends up being taken away from him.
Why?
Not even by anything he did. This is just shit luck right here. Like, you just don't get any worse luck than
Somebody
this.
pressed the plunger too quick?
No, apparently the officials said they incorrectly measured the track.
Oh, shit.
The track
so he ran 95?
The track was 3.7 centimeters short.
Oh,
you know
fuck
how fucking
you.
small that is?
Fuck
That's
you.
so fucking small.
Fuck you.
3.7 centimeters.
If I'm him, I'm screaming
so
fuck
tiny.
you so
That's
much.
Nothing. It's like, what is that?
It's not. It's barely over an inch.
Barely an inch, right?
It's barely over an inch.
So stupid.
It's ridiculous. I would fucking freak out.
Yeah, if you're this guy, because it would have been the same time.
Yeah.
It's not like that would have caused
like,
the time to be
throw
different.
the chalk line down again, and I'll run it again.
So this was all afterwards. So it gets taken away from him, which is that's a load of shit. I'd be mad about that.
That's ridiculous.
Also. That's complete horseshit.
Yeah.
3.7 centimeters. Fuck, imagine that.
I'd lose my fucking mind.
I would too. That's insanity. So he's a little upset about that, but whatever. You know, it's got to be official.
Yeah.
It's got to be official. So I guess if you're the next guy or the guy whose record he broke, you're like, hey, I ran it on a full track. So whatever. 1994.
Yeah.
He's second at the JUCO Indoor Games, junior college, whatever.
I got it.
JUCO, no.
That seemed
JUCO.
a smidge racist.
No. It's just that is.
It seemed like some financial firm sponsored something and
JUCO.
Brought to you by JUCO.
Brought to you by JUCO. The finest investments today. The highest returns, the best yields, JUCO. No, that's not what it is. Junior college, kind of sports slang, JUCO. Yeah. He runs another in 1994 where there's an illegal wind gauge.
What?
That's in action, and his 9.96. Again, he gets converted to a 9.97 because of some odd illegal wind gauge. I don't know.
What the fuck?
I don't know. They didn't gauge the wind well enough. I don't even know what the hell. It's insane. He's fourth at the USA Championships where he runs a 10.28 in the 100. He's ranked number 6 in the United States as a sprinter. Jesus. So that's not bad in the 100 meter. That's pretty good for 1994.
Yeah.
He's 19 years old. 1995, he is 6th in the heats at the USA Championship. We got to explain what heats are right away.
Yeah.
With this Olympic shit, because I'm not a big Olympic guy.
Okay.
The Olympics, they have, the games.
Right.
The heats are like the trials, I guess. And you run in the heats, and like the, top 5 people go to the Olympics. Or the top 3 people make the team.
And it's not necessarily the top 3 that you just ran against.
No.
It's all the heats. So there'll be 8 heats.
Yeah, it depends on the event.
Right.
I don't want to get into the details of that. It's very complicated.
It's measured just like any other sport that's in the Olympics, I imagine. And with my boy, when he swims, he'll be the fastest in the pool, and he'll still finish 8th. You know what I mean? Because there's 7 more heats of kids that are just faster than him.
Yeah, exactly. So he finishes 6th in the USA heats. It's 10.6 seconds is his time in that. He had a best time of 10.27 seconds, which is still way slower than he ran that other one. He was eating a couple cheeseburgers.
I don't know.
He's getting a little lazy. In 1996, this is when the Atlanta Games are coming up also, the Atlantic Olympic Games. He comes in 6th at the USA Indoor Championships. I don't know what he's doing there.
Yeah.
He's 7th in the Olympic trials in the 100 meter. He gets a 10.08 in the heats seconds.
Okay.
This is confusing. He ends up, though, he does make the Olympic team.
Awesome.
In the relay. He runs the 4x100 relay.
Okay.
And he runs the 3rd leg of that, and they win a silver medal in the Atlanta Olympics. So he's a silver medalist in that. Not his chosen thing. He's a 100-meter guy, but he's an Olympic medalist.
I mean, he's sprinting 100 meters in that.
Yeah.
It's just there's 3 other guys that he's got to rely on to be as fast as him.
His time was 10.08 on that.
That's quick.
So that's goddamn fast.
Yeah.
The Atlanta Olympics, I'm sure we all remember.
Centennial Park, right.
Do you remember the whole fucking bombing and all that? This is an interesting Olympics.
That was a fucked up Olympics.
Yeah, I remember that happening and being like, what's going on? And then that poor bastard Richard Jewell, that poor guy. God, that would a mess. How'd you like to be that guy?
I don't want to be anybody anywhere near that Olympics. I'm being honest with you. That Olympics was so fucked up.
Imagine being that guy. Like, you're just this guy, and they're like, everyone hates you.
Forever.
You're a terrorist.
Forever.
And he's like, no, I'm
Not
good.
me.
I didn't do shit.
Didn't do it.
Wow. And if you say his name, people goes, that the guy who blew up Atlanta? Fuck. God damn it.
I can't shake it.
Fuck. He hates introducing himself to anybody. He's disappointed that he only ran in the heats of the individual races. He wants to be a 100-meter star.
He wants to be
individual
the guy.
guy star. He wants to do it. We have it in their own words about it. We have it in their own words here. In their own words, quote, I really wanted to be this great sprinter, but I really didn't want to put in the work to be that great sprinter. That's just in their own words. So that's why he's saying,
a comedian.
That's why he doesn't realize he's doing it. Yeah. He'll say several things where you're like, yeah, idiot.
You're being dumb.
Did you know that was funny, how stupid you are? And he just doesn't get it.
The other thing is, that's basically every comedian. I want to be a great comedian, but I don't want to put the work in to do it.
I don't have to, write and stuff.
I don't have to fucking go do mics and fucking perform.
Well,
and
that doesn't make you a good
really
comedian. Performing for 8 people at a bar doesn't make you a good comedian. You have to write, and that's what they don't want to fucking do. They want to go out to the bar and drink and hang out with their friends. They don't want to do the hard
8 people.
part.
Those are all comics, too. And they all laugh at your joke because they're like, that's a great joke.
Yeah, or they're trying to snow you into thinking you have a great joke.
It's going to keep him from being better than me.
Exactly. Right. That's what it is. So I hope they're not doing the same thing here, but he's the guy who doesn't want to write.
Yeah,
he just wants to go do karaoke after the bar, the open
drink
mic.
$4 beers.
Exactly. 1997, he is on the U.S. 4x100 relay team at the World Championships.
Again.
And he's involved in a botched baton pass.
Oh, no.
That cost them the whole deal and disqualified.
Oh, no.
Apparently they were in the lead. I don't know if it was his fault or what, but the team is disqualified after that. So he's fucked there. He's not happy, but he's in the World Championships, and he ends up getting a bronze medal. We'll talk about this here. He's second at the USA Indoor Championships. He wins a bronze medal in the World Championships, running a 9.94 100-meter, which is faster than his original one. And he was also on the second leg of that team that didn't finish because of the baton problem here.
Relay, right.
He was apparently Tim was the passer.
Okay.
From what I've gathered here. He was the passer. He was trying to complete the pass to a guy named Dennis Mitchell, and it didn't go over well, and they were disqualified. Ranked number 4 in the world, number 2 in the U.S. as a sprinter.
Did you ever have to do that when you were in middle school and high school?
Yeah, I remember that shit. Yeah,
it was so fucking hard.
It is. It's hard.
And they make everybody do it together.
Yeah.
And there's always the fucking asshole that's unathletic in every capacity. And they somehow I always got paired up with that person. I've got my hand back, and I'm looking forward because that's what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to even look at it.
Yeah.
And this asshole goes to
off a football
every fucking time. You hear him coming, you glance back and see that they're coming, and then you wait for that pitch, and every time I felt the wind blow by my hand where they missed my How do you miss the fucking hand?
I'm not running. That's not a sport. If I'm running toward a basketball hoop where I'm going to try to, that's a sport. Or if there's a guy trying to tackle me, that's a sport. I can't exercise isn't sports to me. I will not competitively exercise. I'm not doing that shit.
That's essentially what this shit is.
I'll do more Stairmaster than you. No, I don't want to care about that shit. I want to compete. It's ridiculous. It's like golf. I won't golf because golf is an exercise. It's not it's not a fucking sport.
I don't know. It's a drinking game to me.
Yeah, I
just try to lose less balls than I drink beers. That's all. Yeah, that's a good time. If I lose 4 balls and drink 6 beers, I win. That's a great day.
See, I can't do that because I'm very fucking competitive, and if I'm going to go out there, I'm going to try to be Tiger fucking Woods.
Really?
Even though I suck. I don't care.
You're going to suck.
It'll make me angry.
It's so miserable.
I can't deal with it. I can't do it. It drives me crazy. Plus, it's not a sport. Stop calling it a sport. I get that there's athleticism, whatever, but you're not competing against somebody. Well, you're getting a score, and then you're comparing your score to somebody else. That's not competition.
Isn't that the same as basketball? You're getting a score and comparing it to the other 5 guys.
You can block the guy's shot. Right. You can affect his score. I can't affect your score in golf.
It depends on if you change your own rules. Then, yeah, you kind of can.
You're playing against yourself in golf.
If you go run out there on the green, and then when somebody's ball drops, you fucking bat it back at them.
That would be talking about a completely different sport.
Is that a sport you'd play?
That would be a sport. No, that sounds like shit because it's 300 yards away. Of course they're going to get there before you. They're in a cart racing and you're hitting a ball. They're going to go down there. But yeah, that's not a sport. Anything where you're not, you can't affect their shit is not a sport, in my opinion. You have to be able to affect what the other person is doing and vice versa, or else you're just jerking off and then going, hey, how big's your load? Mine's this big. All right, good. That's all you're doing at that point. fucking golfers.
How big's your load?
Your public lawn jerk-offs. That's all you are. You're just going to go out on the grass and whack off with each other.
Shit.
That's right. If anyone's listening on the golf course, you're a failure right now. You're not an athlete. You're not. You're not an athlete.
Look down and you're wearing pants.
You're wearing fucking dress pants, as a matter of fact.
You're wearing dress pants and your shoes are shiny. You're not a fucking athlete.
Not at all. Not at all.
No, I don't know if they're an athlete, but I consider that a sport.
No fucking way.
I've always gone with the rule: if you sweat while doing it, it's a sport.
Then pinball's a sport.
Fucking yeah.
No, you can't affect his shit either. You have to be able to block a person.
Go unplug that shit.
Or intimidate them or something. Yeah, that's true. That's a block right there. So yeah, he's that whole baton pass, but he wins the bronze medal in the World Championship sprinting with that 9.96
So bowling's
number.
not a sport.
Fuck no, not a sport. You can't affect him. You're comparing scores at the end.
Darts is not a sport.
You don't even have to be in the same place.
We need to call ESPN because they put this shit on their channel.
They also put poker on there.
Yeah, that's true. That's not a fucking sport.
Not a fucking sport at all. That's what I mean.
You can affect their hand, though.
Yeah. I'll even take racing, car racing as a sport, even though that's not people. You can affect someone, and it's hard to drive. You go drive 500 miles in the heat. Good luck. It's
miserable.
Hard. I don't want to drive anywhere in the summer in
I don't want
Phoenix.
to drive 500 miles ever again.
Nowhere. Never mind in the fucking heat.
In a circle.
Compete with people. Have people trying to bump you off the road. So anyway, we have an in their own words here about him winning the bronze in the World Championships and how his life changed.
But I will say this real quick. If there are any of those people that are involved in those things and they fucking commit a crime, we'll cover them. We will goddamn cover them.
Oh yeah, if it's because
they consider themselves an athlete.
Yeah, it's on if golf is on NBC Sports on TV in this channel in this deal. So I'll consider anything an athlete. You got a ping pong player, which is more of a sport than golf, mind you.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's competitive, more competitive.
It's like tennis.
It's tennis as a total sport. You have to be an athlete. You're trying to dominate another person.
And you can affect somebody's score.
You can affect their score. You can't just. God, bowling. Why don't we just do it separately? You can bowl against someone on another coast.
You can.
You bowl, I'll bowl. We'll see how we did.
I did it on Wii.
There you
Online.
go. There you go. In their own words.
Okay.
In their own words on the medal, on the bronze, the World Championships. In their own words, quote, so 97 came and I received a bronze medal in the World Championships. Went on from there, received a huge contract, had all this money, and my world just went from track star to rock star. I was living a double life and I didn't see my performance get any better. Mm-hmm. So this isn't helping him on the track.
Track star to rock star. Look at this guy.
He's going at it. He's track star to rock star, and they treat these Olympics. There's more silver-haired middle-aged white men in Olympic training than in anything else we've covered. Football coaches, I don't give a shit. It's so weird with the Olympics because, let's say you wanted to be a comedian when you were 17. You were like, I want to be a comedian. People would be like, all right, whatever, go get a fucking job and hit the open mics at night. If you said, I want to do the Olympics, people would bend over backwards. They'd take you in. They'd feed you. They'd train you. They treat you like you're some kind of fucking show animal if you're in the Olympics. So these people are so pampered. And it's everything we've ever looked at with the Olympics. They're so pampered by everybody kissing their fucking asses because they can run a little bit fast. And it's more than any other sport even. But things are going well for him.
Yeah.
Put it that way. Things are going decent, whatever. 1997, got his gold medal in his hand, or bronze medal at the World Championships. He's a rock star in his mind. Second at the USA Indoor, second at the USA Championships, 9.92. It was the bronze medal performance there. Not too bad that we talked about. He's doing well. 1998, he's third in the USA Championships. He goes to Rome. He's fifth over there, runs a 10.19. He's ranked number 5 in the U.S. by Track and Fitness, best of whatever. So that's what's going on with him. 1999, he places third in the USA Championships, the 100, sixth in the 100 at the World Championships. Also in the World Championships, he was on the gold medal winning 4x100 relay team there. He's ranked number 9th in the world, number 3 in the U.S. by Track and Fitness. We have an in their own words about this, and this is when shit starts to get. This is when right now he's a guy. Grew up illicit street racing.
Yeah.
He comes from a small town in South Carolina. So this is when he says, okay, I'm here. I'm at this level.
Yeah.
I want to be at this level.
Yeah, much higher.
What the fuck do I need to do?
Right.
I'm tired of being mediocre.
Right.
Because, I mean, he's not doing what he wants. He didn't make the Olympic team in the event he wants. He's not doing exactly what he wants.
There are illicit substances that do that.
There are illicit substances, and let's find out what triggers him to try to work harder and what makes him say, what can I do? We have, in their own words, quote, in 1999, I was watching the World Championships, and I seen Marion Jones run the 100 meters. And I was like, who is her coach? And it happened to be Trevor Graham, and they happened to train in North Carolina, and I got down to Raleigh, North Carolina, and it was an eye-opener. It was like, this is what track and field is. This is what you've been missing. This is the dark side of track and field. Do you want it? And I said, yes, I do. So he sees Marion Jones on TV, and we'll get into Marion Jones and all of her accomplishments later. But she's a very famous Olympian, Marion Jones, sees her on TV and says, what the fuck
And a storied fuck up.
And a storied fuck up. That, we'll get into their whole connection together and all this.
Great.
Now, at this point in time, after Trevor Graham and all this sort of thing, Tim is introduced to a man named Victor Conti. From Balco. Now, Victor Conti and Balco should be famous.
Know anything about Barry Bonds?
Yes, very
Barry
familiar.
Bonds, fucking cork bat, guy turning white. What's his name?
Sammy Sosa. Everything. Balco was
McGuire. All those guys. It's all Balco's behind them.
Balco came up with we'll get into Balco. They are the Bay Area Laboratory Cooperative. Balco. They were in operation from '84 to 2003. Victor Conti was the founder. And what they ended up doing was they would develop different types of enhancements, different types of drugs for athletic performance.
Some cream and some clear.
Some cream and some clear. And the clear was the big one. That was tetrahydrogestrinone.
Shit, yeah.
That is the T.
That's why we call it the clear.
Yes, exactly. That's the one. That's the clear. And this is what they came up with and gave to everybody. Like I said, founded in '84. First, it was a service business for blood and urine analysis and food supplements and shit like that. And
where you would go when your company needed to piss test you.
Yeah, they do that sort of thing. And then in 1988, Victor Conti ordered free blood and urine tests to a group of athletes that were going to try out for the Olympics to make sure they were clean. So he was offering them free tests. These were known as the Balco Olympians at that point in '88. So then he was allowed to attend the Summer Olympics in Seoul and that sort of thing, and he started getting himself worked into more athletes. In 1996, he worked with Bill Romanowski, the famous NFL linebacker.
Famous roid user.
Absolutely. And what he did, Romanowski got him tons of connections in the sports world because Romanowski was really, really touting what this guy did because Romanowski loves his roids, as we all know.
That's how he wins Super Bowls.
Absolutely. 2000, obviously, the most famous Victor Conti thing is he got a hold of Barry Bonds via his strength coach, Greg Anderson, and Bonds started hooked him up with baseball players after that. So then, if one guy shows up big and hits a long home run, they go, what are you doing? Where can I do
what he does.
So you don't have to go around and sell it to anybody. You just have to go show.
You just got to have some product with a...
Go hit 320 with 45 homers, and people will go, where did he go? I'm going to go there. Just like Marion Jones, where does she train? Who's her coach? Because I want to be that. That's exactly what it is. That's and it was the same thing that Barry Bonds, why he did this. I heard him saying the home run derby pissed him off the year before because he was watching McGuire and all these guys hit all these 50 home runs. And he's like, I never hit 50 home runs. I'm the best player in the league, but I don't get the same credit as them because they hit 50 home runs. How can I hit 50 home runs with people? It was an ego thing.
How can I make this giant cross earring look tiny? Look
very, very tiny. Now, at this point, too, Tim is seeing a woman named Jamali. She's a white lady named Jamali, which is
interesting.
Fucking weird. I definitely didn't expect to see a blonde lady when I found the picture. I was like, Jamali's a fucking blonde lady. Okay, sure. Not to be racist, but how many white ladies you know named Jamali?
I know none.
Jamalee.
Okay.
White lady? Fuck no. Not likely.
That name pops up on Snapchat, I'm assuming bedazzled fingernails.
Absolutely. Now, February 2000, Tim starts working with Victor Conti and working with Balco, and they have something called Project World Record.
Okay.
That's what Balco's going on. Project World Record. And they think Tim's the guy who can achieve this world record, and they set forth a training and drug regimen that will help him become the fastest man in the world. He begins to supply Tim with THG, which is I won't pronounce that word again.
THG is the clear?
THG is the clear. It's known as the clear. synthetic orally active anabolic and anabolic steroid. That's all it is.
It's oral?
It's oral. It's
really?
It's
wow.
Shit. Yeah, it's not an injection. It's like a cream shit, the clear shit. Yeah, it's a.
Is it the clear is just something you rub on?
I think so.
Or is it oral that you actually drink it?
Orally active.
Oh, orally active.
Orally active. I don't know.
I wish I was a pharmacist right now.
Yeah, that's the thing.
We could decipher some of this shit.
To try to figure out like all of the legal wranglings in this, like the medical thing is beyond me with the
clear.
Shit.
I thought that was just something you rubbed on too. So I'm
I
going to
thought
go
it
with
was
that.
too.
Yeah.
Honestly, I thought it was something you rubbed on too.
Yeah.
Orally active.
That makes it sound like you drink it.
That makes it sound like you drink it or swish it around in your mouth or whatever. But they never marketed it. They kept it for this purpose. They didn't. They're going to put it out to the general.
I want everybody to know about it.
Yeah. So we have it in their own words about this and how everything changes now. In their own words, quote, "Once I got on performance-enhancing drugs, that was the biggest key to performance. I took Victor's word as, hey, take this here, you're going to run fast. And I didn't care if it killed me or what it done to me. All I wanted was speed. All I wanted was power. I was always looking to be the best and chase the best. 1.6 billion people. I achieved something. And a lot of people will say, well, you achieved it in the wrong way. And I tell them in my heart, I really don't feel like I did. And I'm telling the truth. I really don't feel like I did. Everybody on that line, 9 times out of 10 was doing the same thing I was doing.
I don't disagree with
Fact.
that. Yeah.
The track is the dirtiest shit ever.
You bet.
It's if you see a guy run real fast and do something, you just go, well, within the next 5 years, he will be stripped of those medals, guaranteed.
Doesn't matter.
Because he did something. Right. Usain Bolt is the only fucking guy so far, and I'm waiting to figure out whatever the hell.
There's a trick somewhere.
I'm waiting to figure out what his trick is, exactly, because you don't just make everybody is this, and then one human being is just a little bit. That doesn't happen.
One
that
guy
way.
just pulls away from the entire field. How the fuck does that happen?
It's weird, and so be very suspicious of people when you see them, because they're all.
But here's the thing, too.
I don't care, though.
I don't give
That's
a
the
fuck.
other thing. I don't give a shit.
I want them that fast. I want to be blown the fuck away.
And if all 10 of them are doing it, I'm like, fine, fuck it. What do I care?
Yeah.
Good, run. It's
then
unfair
that guy
to the
took
guy
more.
who's not doing it, but I mean, hey, I don't know what to tell you. That's the only thing, is it's unfair that the guy who's not doing it should be,
penalized
for that. But at the same time, well, you're fucking running. I don't know what to tell you.
Go sell cars then, dude.
You are being paid money to race people on foot. Like, what kind of, that's not a job. That's not a job.
No, it's not.
It's people drive forklifts and shit. Like, that's a job. This is not a job.
You got a business card that says runner?
I
Fuck
run
you.
places. Like, so whatever. You might have to do that. The funny thing, too, is he's having a hard time with all this, like becoming. Like he's going first class everywhere on airplanes. And what he would do is he would buy books at the airport just so he could hold them in first class and not look out of place.
What?
Because he didn't want to look like just some young black dude in first class that seemed out of place. That's what he said. And he's like, so I would just, I get a book and I just hold
some books.
I would hold a book that would make me look smart. And so I didn't look at it. He said never read a page of any of them.
Wow.
Just held them in my hand like, oh yeah, I have this book like I'm going to read with a perfect spine without a crack in it or a bend in it. Unreal, man. So at the in 2000, he runs in the heats of this is the Sydney Olympics in 2000. We're back at the Olympics again. It's Olympic season. You have the Olympic trials. He runs in the heats of there. He runs his best time there in the 100 is 10.01. So he does not make the 100. He's sixth. So he's cut off from the team. He doesn't
make the cut running a 10-second 100.
Nope.
Wow. That's so fast.
Doesn't make the cut. He does, however, make the team in the 4x100 relay team again. He makes that team. For some reason, he keeps making that.
Put some pads on this motherfucker and make him a running back.
No shit.
He's so fucking fast.
5'10", 160. He'd get broken in a minute.
Listen, man, they're smaller.
He's willing to do steroids.
Yeah.
We got that, so
get him in there.
Fucking stick him up and get him out in the backfield.
He'll get bigger.
There you go. You'll get a lot bigger, mister. So here he is. He's doing that whole thing. He wins the gold medal in the Sydney Olympics with the 4x100 relay team. So he's a gold medalist. Olympic gold medalist.
Is this Grace?
Boom. Not yet.
Okay.
It's not even close to Grace. We have a mountain to climb.
This man is a runner.
He's a runner. He's going to be running a lot. Now, at this point, also, he's with Jamali. They're having a nice time. They have a daughter in 2001.
Okay.
So he's a gold medalist.
Yeah.
He's got a nice woman there.
Yeah.
He has a daughter. Tamaya is his daughter he has in 2001.
Very nice.
Seems good. Everything. Timaya.
Yeah.
Get it?
Got it.
Yeah,
she's a junior.
That's exactly. I was going to say that's as close as she could get to. He could get to junior without naming his daughter Timothy.
Right.
So unbelievable. So they have that daughter. He says from 2001, from February 2000 to June 2001, is he was taking testosterone, HGH, the clear. He's taking everything that Balco is giving him.
Yeah.
They're just running him on a regiment, trying to really get him to a world record.
Yeah.
So 2001, he's racing everywhere. The outdoor world championships, he gets a silver medal.
Yeah.
Runs a 9.95. Runs a 9.85 anchor leg on the gold medal winning relay team at the Bislett Games in Oslo.
Okay.
He runs that. He wins a silver in the world indoors. He's just winning all sorts of shit. He's ranked number 2 in the world and in the U.S. So the number 1 must be in the U.S. because he is number 2 in the world and in the U.S. Runs a 10.27 at the Goodwill Games. Not that great, but he
Unless
runs
both 1 and 2 are Americans.
Well, he's 2.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If both
and
1 and 2 are Americans.
Yeah, it's going to have to be. And I think it's Maurice Green, the guy who's the current.
Gotcha.
He's the current at this moment world record holder for the 100 meter.
Yeah. And wait, you said Jamali is a white woman?
Jamali's a white woman.
So he's got himself a beige baby.
He's got a beige baby.
I love it.
He's learning. He's doing it. Yeah, good job. He
right now he's doing well.
He's got
a beige baby. He's winning gold
going
medals.
Great. Kid's cute as shit too.
I'm sure.
Cute fucking kid.
Can't imagine she's ugly.
Cute.
That's an adorable girl.
He runs a 9.92 at the Prefontaine Classic.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck that is. He's in Zurich. He's in Brussels. He's in Oslo.
He's doing it.
He's traveling the world first class with a phony book in his lap.
Yeah.
And running around, jacked up on roids.
Yeah.
He's got a life right now. This isn't bad at all.
He's running through all these white countries. Is he knocking up broads?
Oh, God, yeah.
Is
all
he
over
really?
the place. Oh, yeah. No, he's not knocking anybody up. He's not knocking anybody up.
But he's running through China, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. In 2002, before the season, he leaves Balco. He leaves Conti and Balco over a dispute over $25,000 that he owed in fees. Which seems
Balco
like they've
says
earned
he
it.
owes?
Yeah, it seems like they fucking earned it.
Pay up, motherfucker.
Yeah. Conti says, quote, he wanted to pay half and the other half next year. He wanted the money so he can open a strip club.
What?
So that's what this idiot wants to do now.
What are you doing?
Now he's being an athlete.
Oh, Christ.
Before he's like, I'm going to open a strip club.
Not
now
even
he's an
athletes
athlete.
don't open them. Athletes just go and make it rain on the hose. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's their
retired
gig.
athletes open strip clubs.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Not current. That's true. While you're in, you shouldn't be.
You just go make it
you
rain.
Should be going to them.
Right. When you're out, then you start them or car washes. That's your gig.
Definitely. So he wins the 60-meter silver medal at the World Indoor Championships in Lisbon, in Portugal at one point in 2001. He also wins his first United States 100-meter title outdoors in Eugene, Oregon.
All right.
So he's becoming the fastest. He equaled the then at the time third fastest 100-meter time in history on July 13th, 2001 in Oslo with the in history with the 9.84.
Wow.
He said, when I saw the time, I just couldn't believe it. It wasn't a good race. It was a fantastic race. I felt very confident in the heats, and I thought I could win. It was like, and he went out there and he kicked some ass. In that 9.84, he ran that in a pair of shoes that wasn't his.
What?
He forgot. He says, quote, my luggage didn't show up, so he had to borrow a pair of sneakers from Marion Jones.
Wow.
Because that's his training partner.
He and Jones were the same size shoe,
So they
apparently.
were the same size shoes. So they were the same. So lucky for him, they were the same size. He went out there in her shoes.
He
and
ran pink shoes down the fucking...
And ran the third best time in history. Incredible.
Maybe it's not the drugs. Maybe it's not your training. Maybe
shoes.
it's just her goddamn shoes.
Maybe she's just an
she
insane...
had the pump tongues and everything.
Let's find out about her.
Yeah.
What do you say? Let's do
All
that
right.
in a second here. Because in 2002, he begins a relationship with her. Not only are they training partners, they get together.
They're banging.
Oh, they're more than banging. They're having a good time here.
All right.
He said they became an item after spending several hours talking on a flight to Rome.
What's Jamali think about this?
Well, they're having problems and kind of breaking up. And he's like, I'm going out with this international track star. Fuck Jamali.
Yeah.
Which is shitty. Jamali was there for him when Jamali was Jamali.
Yeah.
He was there for she was there for him when when he needed her and when he was trying to build himself, and now that he's Mr. fucking rock star, he's going to go bang Marion Jones. It's kind of a dick move, I think, at that point. He says, quote, after the Rome flight, he said, quote, 2 hours later, we were alone in a hotel room together. 2 weeks after that, we were crowned the world's fastest couple. And 6 months later, she was pregnant.
Oh, shit.
So that escalated quickly.
Yeah.
Little Marion Jones here, she's one of the biggest female. She's a huge success.
Probably the biggest.
She would earn between $70,000 and $80,000 per race.
Holy
she would do these races.
Shit.
She became
10 seconds at a time, James.
She became one of the first female track millionaires.
Yeah.
Unbelievable here. Vogue did a story on her. Of course. That says the American hero.
Yeah.
I mean, she was like the golden girl.
Absolutely.
Behind the closed doors of government offices and military compounds, there are hidden stories and buried secrets from the darkest corners of history. From covert experiments pushing the boundaries of science to operations so secretive they were barely whispered about. Each week, on Redacted, Declassified Mysteries, we pull back the curtain on these hidden histories. 100% true and verifiable stories that expose the shadowy underbelly of power. Consider Operation Paperclip, where former Nazi scientists were brought to America after World War II, not as prisoners, but as assets to advance U.S. intelligence during the Cold War. These aren't just old conspiracy theories. They're thoroughly investigated accounts that reveal the uncomfortable truths still shaping our world today. The stories are real. The secrets are shocking. Follow Redacted, Declassified Mysteries on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Redacted early and ad-free right now on Wondery Plus.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. We're going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles.
A big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud.
Sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
And now back to the show.
She's also taller than him. Mm-hmm. He's only 5'10", and he's kind of he's a fast guy, but he doesn't come from he's not well educated. Right. He's not he's just a street guy that ran races against old people.
A legit street guy. He's a street urchin from South Carolina.
So, he also felt that there was a weird dynamic here because he felt that she was a better athlete than him.
Ouch.
Also, for these people, ego's a big thing with this. I'm faster, she's faster, all this shit. It's a little weird here. And she was so successful at this time. Here's a quote that I won't do it in their own words, but it's just amazing. A quote about how successful she is. He says, quote, "I remember cleaning out her car one day and I found a check for $45,000 and it was 6 months old."
Whoa.
He said she forgot all about it. She was making so much good money that she didn't even take care of it. And that was and she was very generous with it. If you were in her good graces, she'll give you the shirt off her back.
She was like, take that 45.
Yeah, she just forgot about it in the car. That's incredible. I've heard of comedians doing that too. I know comedians where I know their feature and they'll be like, I was over at his house. There was a check on the table. I found it was $60,000. It was 4 months old.
Jesus.
It was under some shit. He didn't even
care.
There. Didn't even give a shit. That's how much money. It's like, wow. And I'm going, patreon.com/crime and sports. I'd really like some health insurance, please, so I don't fucking die from a cold.
And these people have so much money, they forget where their money is at.
Jesus Christ. Unreal, man. So September in 2002, September 14th, they're in Paris for a race. And Tim runs a 100 meter in 9.78 seconds. Jesus. That is a world record.
Yeah.
World record is
fastest ever.
It is .01. It is 100th of a second faster than Maurice Green's previous record. So that's how close and minuscule
Holy
this is.
Shit.
It's amazing too. His reaction was officially recorded off the gun. They record this. It was, I don't know exactly what this means, but you can tell by the context. Recorded as 0.104 of a second. That's his reaction off the gun.
From hearing it.
Anything faster than .100 is considered a false start. So he was 0.004 of a second away from being a false start. That's how fast off the gun he was, which you would need to. He said at 30 meters, there was no one beside me. But the problem also was, too, he had a tailwind pushing him of 2 meters per second. That's 4.5 miles an hour. That is the absolute maximum allowed for world record marks. That's why that wind gauge earlier was a problem, because they couldn't gauge the wind. Anything faster than that is a tailwind. They don't let you. They say, well, the wind might have helped you a tenth of a second, 100th of a second, and that's what they're talking about. So
holy shit!
I mean, he is like
everything is right there to make a perfect storm of him to break it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was luck, a lot of luck involved.
Absolutely,
luck and hard work and steroids and genetics and everything else. Really, it's a stew.
Yeah.
It's a potpourri. Really,
it really is.
Luck,
it's a
genetics,
cornucopia of the cream and the clear.
And everything else.
And the time and the wind and the gun and everything.
So that's at the IAAF Grand Prix final in Paris.
That sounds
also,
official.
In Paris, imagine the night he had that night, just feeling fucking good about himself. He's the fastest man. You are the fastest man in the world at that point. It's wild.
He's going to go bang away on Marion
Jones. Yeah, he's won the overall Grand Prix title that day.
Yeah.
He came second in the USA Outdoors that year, first in Brussels, first in another one in Rome. He's first in Osaka, in Zurich, in Cape Town.
Jesus.
Everywhere. Stockholm, first, third in Bislett. He's ranked number 1 in the world now at this point, obviously.
Wow.
So
That's got to be Grace.
Yeah.
there's no
not Grace.
There's somewhere else to go higher?
Oh, yeah. 2002, he wins the Jesse Owens Award.
Okay, that's a good award.
Yeah, it's this gives him it's a top athlete type of thing. When he won the 2002 the Grand Prix, by the way, in Paris, there he made $250,000 off of that. That was his payday. He won $50,000 for winning the race and $100,000 for the top Grand Prix point standing, and $100,000 for setting the world record also. And that is all presented to him at the 2002 Jesse Owens Award for his breakthrough season.
That is a huge payday.
They're saying, you're the greatest thing in the world, and here's a bunch of money, and everybody loves you, and you're the best. How would you not think drugs were great at that point? I mean, fuck, man. This is like a rock star being like,
I'm trying to
I started doing heroin, and I got 10 number 1 hits. Fucking heroin's great.
Heroin's
jamming it into my eyeball at that point.
I'm trying to wrap my head around that kind of money for 10 seconds of running.
Nothing. That's nothing.
That's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. And who's watching that?
Yeah.
Would you
Nobody
be like,
watched
oh, sweet, that Grand Prix Paris race?
Nobody saw that.
It's not like they're drawing a million people for this, but a lot of people come see this. Internationally, I think it's different than in the U.S. The U.S., we're really picky with this sort of shit. Internationally, I think they just like competition in sports.
But I think that you could get a lot of people to watch that if you said, this guy's been doing drugs for the past 10 years for this day. Come watch this. I'll fucking watch. Absolutely.
No, you're right.
He has the chance to break the world record because he has been doing drugs for 10 years solid. You have no idea how much cream and clear this motherfucker has been rubbing all over himself.
He's jerking off with it.
Fuck yeah. He's greasing the pipe with it.
He's using it as lotion.
Absolutely. This is his
scary
sex lubricant for himself.
Well, between him and Marion Jones, the two of them together, God.
And, he's been lubing the inside of her for so long with the cream and the clear. Come watch this.
So 2003, I'm watching. 2003 is the runner-up at the USA Indoor. He's 5th at the World Outdoors, 2nd in Mexico City, 1st in Osaka. Ran the anchor leg of a relay for the U.S. again, where they won a thing. And big deal, right? Yeah. He's ranked number 5 in the world by 2003.
And the anchor leg's the one that's the guy that's the important one.
Yeah, that's the guy that you need him to pick up some. You know,
in case the other 3 fucks cost us a little bit of time, this guy can make it up.
So that's the big deal. Now 2003. He appears on Oprah.
What?
Oprah. Tim and Marion appear on Oprah together.
He's hanging out with the richest black women in the world.
Marion Jones and Oprah.
Yeah.
It is the biggest fluff piece.
Where are the Williams girls at?
Oh, it's the biggest fluff piece ever. Like, I'm surprised Oprah, when they sat down, didn't say, can I get someone out here to just jerk him off? We've said
somebody
jerking
get
off
the
8 times
cream in the
tonight,
clear and just fluff him up.
Feed him grapes like a king, please, because we love these people so much. Total fluff piece. They're introduced as the world's fastest couple.
Wow.
And everything. And they just had a baby together.
Jesus.
They just had a baby together. One guess on what they named the baby.
Oh, boy. Is it a boy?
It's a boy,
okay,
Jimmy.
It's definitely Junior.
It's Timothy. It's Timothy Montgomery. Come on, it's a fucking Junior. You think this guy's not going to name his kid fucking Junior? Of course he is. He named his daughter Timaya, for Christ's sake.
And she had the fastest birth ever. She had the fastest pregnancy ever. And these two are amazing.
They made a big deal out of how the baby was 3 weeks early.
Of course.
And it actually,
I was just about to say that.
Her childbirth was actually very fast.
Really?
It was a very fast
birth
that it was. They made a huge deal out of it.
Tim's been banging that thing for the past 9 months.
Yeah, he's been working it. They make a huge deal that Marion lost 25 pounds in 2 weeks after the baby, which is incredible. Oprah's like, obviously, her weight struggles are well documented. She's like, holy shit, that's amazing. So that's a big deal.
You just give me your diet backstage and your workout regimen. I'll do the same.
They appear with the baby. They come out with the baby, and Oprah's going, "Oh my God, he's so cute, and you guys are the best, and holy shit." Marion says,
Beyonce and Jay-Z.
Oh, that's what they are. Yeah. They are Beyonce and Jay-Z, but not like of even. They're like of like the most upstanding nature. They're U.S. Olympians. You don't get any more pure and put them on a cereal box than that, man. That's fucking Mary Lou Retton type shit right there. You know what I'm saying? They talk a lot about how Marion trained every single day she was pregnant. She trained every day, which I find wow. That's
I don't think
crazy.
She did.
Tim says at the moment, because she's asking Tim, what are your training regimen? What do you do? And he says he trains 6 days a week to do track. He trains with heavy weights a lot to get strength, but then closer to season, they talk about using lighter weights and wanting more explosiveness is what they're going for, but they want strength from before. They talk about their whole relationship with Oprah. They're sitting there having Oprah saying how great you guys are and how'd you get together and your kid's so cute.
You bet.
Could it get any better than that? I mean, it's ridiculous. Marion says, quote, "We just fell in love with each other, I think, instantly. And obviously we have a common bond with track, but there's so many other things we enjoy doing together, and we're happy, and Monty is a result of that," because they call the kid Monty. That's what they call the little kid.
This is going to be the biggest downfall ever, I think.
Yeah. Oprah says, "What's your goal for this?" They say, "Our goal is more gold medals. That's all we want is more gold medals." That year, Tim wins an ESPY award.
Oh, my God.
On ESPN. He's on goddamn ESPN winning an ESPY award for athletic achievement.
For cutest baby ever.
Cutest fucking baby. Tim has his very own Nike commercial.
What?
They give this fucking guy a Nike commercial, and I watched the commercial. And it's a really stupid commercial because I couldn't tell what was going on for half of it. And I'm like, I don't even understand this commercial. Either I'm dumb or this is a stupid commercial. But it starts out like underwater with like movement. And there's a snake moving underwater. And then the snake hops out on land. And then the snake, they cut from the snake to Tim running. And it's like, it's on this like desert landscape, like this vast, Mad Max wasteland. And Tim's running in like the track deal. And then they show the snake turns into a greyhound dog.
Oh, my God.
And then they show Tim running, and the dog turns into a horse.
Yeah.
And they show a black horse, of course. And so is the greyhound. It was black, too. Like, it doesn't matter what color it is, for Christ. But they were like, we need a black one.
And
Seriously,
it was a fucking
black.
water moccasin snake.
It was. It was black as fuck, the snake. They do all that. Turns from a horse to a motorcycle.
Oh, Christ.
And then to a bullet train. And they don't show Tim anymore, but they show like a path in the track. The track goes through the mountain.
Okay.
Like
a tunnel.
A tunnel. Thank you. I can't think of the word tunnel. Chopped tweezer thingies. Jesus Christ. That hole in the mountain.
The hole of the fucking track.
All I could think of was like a Bugs Bunny cartoon when it was painted on and fake, and it was screwing me up.
Goddamn tunnel. All right, go on.
A tunnel. They're going through this tunnel, and that's the commercial. It goes into a tunnel, and it like the train disappears, and there's silence, and then it says on screen, "There's more fast out there."
Get the fuck out of here.
It's the Tim Montgomery commercial.
There's more fast out there.
There's more fast out there.
I get what they're doing. They're trying to say there's more like fast out there, but there's more fast out there. It sounds fucking just like terrible English.
It sounds like there's more fast out there.
Right, there's more fast out there.
So whatever.
You think you're fast? There's more fast.
I think they're saying you could be fast too.
There's people more faster than you.
More
That's
faster.
What there is.
Even more faster than. So I think what they're saying is you could be this fast.
Right.
More fast out there, like you.
There's so much fast out there. They're at the Foot Locker.
Yeah.
And they cost $129.95. And they'll make you fast.
Have a good fucking time. Enjoy, dickhead. Yeah. Beautiful. All right.
Go find you fast.
Go find you fucking fast, asshole. Hey, jerk off. What are you doing? You
Go find you fast.
Where's your fucking fast? I thought you had it. You said you was grabbing it before you left the house.
I thought you was going to bring it with you.
No, I don't have it in my pocket. It's your fucking fest. Why would I take it? I didn't got it. Maybe it's in the glove compartment. I don't know. Check maybe last time. I don't know. You threw it in the trunk maybe? Fuck do I know where your fast is.
You got a permit for all that fast?
Oh. So
Jesus.
So this is all going on now. After the world record, everything changes for his prices of appearance, his endorsements. Everything shoots through the roof because now he's world famous. He's the fastest man in the world. He's got that title.
When he had sex with Marion, if he finished fast, do you think he'd just roll over and be like, "I told you I was fast"?
I feel like they would race to the end of it.
No, they would.
No, I'm going faster than you.
I'm faster than you.
You'd have to work it out on your own time and really get it all. Yeah, I feel like they get it all prepared. And they have 4 seconds of super intense sex.
Super sex. And then bang.
And then one of them's angry because they didn't come first. It's funny. That's how it works.
And she's even more angry because now she's got to carry a baby for 9 months because he beat her.
Damn it. Fuck.
That's the worst. She's got to. She's the only one that has a punishment for not going fast.
Do you think she was mad she couldn't just get it to come out in 6 months? I can do this faster than mine. 3 weeks is fine. But
my gestation period is faster than everyone. I'll get this shit done in 7 months.
There's a lot of fast out. There's more fast out there. Nike told me. So after his world record, he ups all of his prices. His competitive appearances, he used to charge $25,000.
Now they're 50.
To a race. Now they're 60.
Holy shit! He more than doubled them.
More than doubled, same as Marion.
My
She's
God.
world famous. It's a name recognition thing. Now people go, "Oh, I saw that guy in a Nike commercial. I'm going to go watch that race."
What do you charge, baby? That's what I'm going to charge.
It's exactly what it is. Also, he had a Nike endorsement deal, obviously, with the commercial.
Yeah.
That spikes up to $575,000 a year.
Holy
He's
shit.
getting from Nike, and he was getting about half of that before.
Yeah.
So that is huge.
Yeah.
So nice. They're doing so well for themselves. They buy a $2.5 million chateau-style mansion in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, where in that neighborhood, right down the street, Dean Smith, the former coach, and Michael Jordan both live.
Of course.
So now they're Michael Jordan's neighbor.
Yep.
They live in a fucking chateau. They're making tons of money. They're on Oprah, SBs. Grace.
All right.
Grace. Can you say Grace, everybody? You can't get any more Grace than this.
That's so Grace.
Holy shit. Top of the fucking mountain.
I'm blown away.
Wow. Insane, right?
I thought we were going to get Grace much earlier. This is amazing.
Grace,
what he's achieved.
What a great life, right?
Out of nothing.
In 2003, the United States Attorney for the Northern District of California begins investigating Balco.
God
yes.
damn it, Balco.
U.S. Sprint coach Trevor Graham tipped the U.S. anti-doping agency off their old coach about Balco. They have big beef with him and Balco. It's a huge deal. Okay. He did this in 2003, accusing a number of athletes in being involved with the doping and steroid that was undetectable at the time. He was telling them about that. He knew about everything. Named Victor Conti as the source of the steroids. Told him that it's called the Clear. Graham was the guy who also delivered a syringe containing traces of the Clear to the anti-doping agency.
Uh-oh.
He was a guy that smuggled one out after an injection and gave it to somebody, so to prove what it was and that they could do a breakdown of it chemically. After this, a guy named Don Catlin, who's the doctor he's a doctor and founder of the UCLA Olympic Analytical Laboratory. Yeah. He developed a testing process for the Clear based on this syringe. You have to know what it is to be able to test for it. After this, he tested 550 existing samples that he had from athletes, and 20 of them tested positive for the Clear.
Uh-oh.
So people were doing this way more. They were like, oh, shit. Fall of 2003, federal agents tell Marion Jones and Tim Montgomery that they will be subpoenaed to testify before a grand jury probing the Balco steroid investigation.
Oh, shit.
Now shit's getting...
This is real.
We've had grace.
Yeah.
This is federal investigation.
Yeah.
This is not great. September 3rd, agents from the IRS, the FDA, Internal Revenue Service, Food and Drug Administration, and the San Mateo, California Narcotics Task Force conducted a house search of the Balco facilities. They found lists of their customers. They also searched their field warehouse, found containers. Labels said they were steroids, growth hormones, you name it. Yeah. They also searched Anderson, who was Greg Anderson, Barry Bonds' strength trainer that we talked about earlier. They searched his house. They found steroids, tons of cash, names, dosage plans, everything. Among the athletes in here, they found in the records, Barry Bonds, Benito Santiago, Jeremy Giambi, Bobby Estalella, Armando Rios, a hammer thrower named Josh McEwen, shot putters Kevin Toth and C.J. Hunter, Marion Jones, Tim Montgomery, Zana Block, Kelly White, middle distance runner named Regina Jacobs, a Sugar Shane Mosley, the boxer,
No
we
shit.
all remember, was a great 147 fighter and 154. No, it's wild. A cyclist named Tammy Thomas, also NFL players, Bill Romanowski, Tyrone Wheatley, Barrett Robbins, the guy who ran away from the Super Bowl, and we'll be doing an episode on him at some point because he went batshit after that. Chris Cooper and Dana Stubblefield, all Bay Area guys, obviously, Raiders and 49ers. Also, even in judo, Conti was connected with supplying, quote, vitamin supplements to the 1988 U.S. Olympic judo team.
Holy shit.
Unbelievable. All the way back then, which is funny because we have an 88 Olympic judo connection because James Waith, which is, I think, episode 49 or 48, was 1988 judo Olympian. Right. So he had to fight against guys who were on juice.
Amazing.
Maybe that's why he tortured people and became a drug dealer. Who knows? James Waith. Listen to that episode. It's wild.
Fascinating.
English crazy judo guy who became an enforcer for a drug gang, and it's wild the shit he did, man. You can't. It's crazy. November of 2003, in front of a grand jury in San Francisco, Tim has to answer questions now. Now he's subpoenaed,
under oath,
so he's under oath. He's got to do it. A federal prosecutor named Jeff Nedrow is asking him all sorts of shit about his connections to drugs and connections between drugs and Marion Jones, obviously his girlfriend, his former coach Trevor Graham, connections to the Balco, the whole deal. Conti. He tried to kind of go around things at first. Montgomery was hemming and hawing, but eventually he just said everything he knew. Because he's under oath. What the fuck's he going to do at this point? So he admits using PEDs. He admits using the steroids himself. Good. Which is not real good for his career. But you got to do it. He told everything he knew about everybody in that. Now in 2004, this is the same year, they have the U.S. Olympic track and field trials for the Olympics. They're both trying out for it. Marion Jones is expected to qualify for the 100 and 200 meter events, and she's like the most badass. And she only makes the cut for the relay and the long jump. She doesn't even make the cut. And Montgomery fails to qualify for anything at all. Nothing, not even the relay.
This is
this is
the very next year in baseball. You know what I mean? Like everything just slides.
Why does he have 22 home runs this year? Hey, Luis Gonzalez had 57 last year. We've talked about this before. Hey, come on, Brady Anderson.
Hey, where are you at?
Come on, what the fuck, dude? Why aren't you hitting so many this time?
What happened?
So best he did was finishing 7th in the final for 7th in one of the heats. That was the best he finished. Now, what they're trying to do is they're trying to ban him and her from international competition. They're trying to do all this. It's the way it is. Montgomery, what he does is it's a never before used clause that he asks that the case bypass the U.S. arbitrators and go directly to an international body called the Court of Arbitration for Sport, which is just a strategy here. His lawyer here, Howard Jacobs, said, quote, "By turning to CAS, we hope that Tim will have the best opportunity to clear his name in a fair and impartial proceeding." So he's thinking he's going to get less fairness in the U.S.,
of course,
is what it is. In 2004, he does come in first in Martinique at 10.08 and a 6th at the Nike Prefontaine Classic. So, I mean, it's not terrible, but he's not the fastest man in the world. August 2004, this is before all this is going down, there's a Marion Jones Nike ad, and Tim was supposed to be in it, and he's cut out of it.
He's getting so much bad news. And those rides home from all these meetings and all these races have to be so fucking uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's one of these things. The ad showed, this is the ad, it shows there's a girl and a little boy and a little girl. They're coming up to a haunted house, and a scary character emerges, and the girl runs away sprinting and turns into Marion Jones to get away from her, is the basic deal. Montgomery was supposed to be the boy, and they just cut him out.
Like Hansel and Gretel, but they run?
Just gone, out.
Now it's just Gretel.
They say it's common practice. Hey, you shoot a lot, you never know, which is true with commercials. But
sometimes things get edited.
The whole point of the commercial was supposed to be a girl and a boy, and then it's just a girl after a while. So it was clear what happened there. July 15th, 2005, Victor Conti and Greg Anderson both cut plea deals. They plead guilty to illegal steroid distribution and money laundering, and to avoid the trial, because the trial would have been a mess.
Oh God,
they would have.
I wanted that on True TV.
Oh, that would have been amazing.
just to see Rafael Palmeiro go sit on a fucking stand.
That'd be great. That'd be a good point at somebody now. Conti spends 4 months in prison. Anderson is incarcerated for almost 14 months.
Yeah.
He's released in 2007. The day he is released in 2007, by the way, is pretty funny. That is the exact same day that Barry Bonds is indicted by a federal grand jury on perjury counts and obstruction of justice for lying about his steroid use. Tim admits later that he was now, at this point, he admits that he was on a heavy regimen of steroids and everything else, testosterone, HGH, leading up to the 2000 Olympics in Sydney, which the gold medal winning of the relay there. He says at the time the source wasn't Conti and Balco, but he did say that they did provide him with other stuff, with other designer steroids, but some of the things he was on at that point weren't theirs because he came in later. He says, Conti says of Montgomery, I didn't meet him until I got to Sydney. I actually met him inside the Olympic Village. I was working with other athletes, including Alvin Harrison. Someone came out and got me and took me in. Later, we got a cab and we talked, and I gave Tim some of the clear.
Okay.
So he's like, hey, I got this shit for you.
There it is.
There it is. What they would do, the drugs at this point, they would come through Trevor Graham, that ex-coach. He would arrange for his athletes to, he'd get it through Mexico then. A former Mexican discus thrower who lived in Laredo, Texas, he'd go down and get the steroids and take them across the border. And Tim says that it was the first time he got anything, first time he was taking anything was with Trevor. He was sending people down there to Mexico. And Tim said, he said it was crazy. You just walk across the border and sit in the lab and they just give you shit. Nothing's FDA approved. You just walk out with some monkey hormones and you fucking go out. Unbelievable. He said, Trevor had us believing this is what you needed to do to be successful. And he saw success with other people. And he was like, you believe in the guy. He's calling the shots. You get in there, do what he says because he knows what the fuck he's talking about.
Get your monkey hormones.
Now, he's never tested positive, but obviously he's admitted to what he did. In 2005, in December, the Court of Arbitration for Sport that he went to avoid the other one bans him for 2 years from track and field.
Oh shit!
Like I said, never tested positive, but this was suspension was based on his testimony in the Balco grand jury. Now, what they do is when they tell you you've cheated, if you have any medals, they send you a request for the medals. They want the medals back. The IAAF.
It's a request, though.
They want the medals back. And what they do is, if you comply, they put them in storage and they then press a new set for the runners-up, is what they do, because then now they're the gold medalists. But if you don't hand it in, if you don't give it to them, there's nothing they can do about it. So you can just not have it.
Yeah.
The most they can do is extend your suspension because you didn't abide by their rules. But they can't arrest you or anything. Right. There's nothing you can fucking do. Their requests were ignored by Tim. He's keeping his fucking medals. Screw you. And I don't blame him. This whole case with steroids with him and the grand juries and lawyers and all this cost him $2 million. Yeah. Cost him and Marion $2 million.
Holy shit!
So that's that's a big deal.
That'll put a strain on your relationship too.
$2 million, yeah, and they're having trouble earning more too because now they're disgraced. So
right,
now it's
now they've got a lifestyle that they've bought that they cannot, they can't sustain anymore.
They live down the street from Michael Jordan for Christ's sake. You can't just.
The guy, the face of Chapel Hill, Dean Smith, and you're his fucking neighbor.
Yeah, exactly.
You're waving to him as he picks up his paper. You got to be able to finance that sustainable life, and if you can't do it because you're a fucking disgrace,
what are you going to do? Yeah, what are you supposed to do? You start to panic a little.
Foreclose.
You start to panic.
Yeah.
Tim blames doping in general on governing racing federations. He's like, it's not us. He says in their own words, quote, when you got a sport that the agents control, that the shoe companies control, and you get very little from your federation, then it's out of control. And in track and field, there is no structure. It's every man for themselves, which, makes sense.
I mean, that's every sport, though, isn't it?
Well, I mean, like in the NFL, there is a definite controlling body.
Yeah.
It's the NFL. Yeah. Everything is tight. MLB, there is a controlling body.
But the shoe companies control that shit just as much as those people do.
Well, the shoe companies control what the players do, but if they want to suspend people for something,
I got you.
They keep shit tight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For
international racing is like a Wild West.
Right.
It's too
for disciplinary action, you've got somebody to answer to.
Exactly. Right. It's swift. One guy's in charge, and he's got a panel.
Fuck you, Goodell.
Yeah. Eat shit, Goodell. So there's a guy named C.J. Hunter who used to be married to Marion Jones. See, they both had people, which is funny. C.J. Hunter says that Conti would ship the Trevor Graham guy 15 doses of the clear, and it would be intended for Jones. Tim says that the drugs would go to Hunter to go through, so it would pass them to Graham. There was no direct connection.
Gotcha.
They go from one to the other.
One hand to the other hand.
And then later they would be shipped to Montgomery. Gotcha. They told the grand jury that the packages that had the drugs in them were discernible by fictitious names on the return label. They had certain names they'd use so you'd know who it was. Vince Reed they would use. It said if it had Balco on it, then it was just vitamins.
Right.
But if it was Vince Reed, it was something that shouldn't be in the mail. He said maybe once a week packages would for Marion and me would come, and I'd give them to Trevor, and that's how they'd work it. Now, the reason why the drugs weren't sent directly to Graham, the coach, is because his wife was a sheriff's deputy, and she didn't know about it.
Oh, Jesus.
So if the packages come and they're intercepted by a sheriff's deputy,
he might have some
wife,
problems.
He's going to get some shit at home, at least. At the very least, he's going to get some shit at home.
He's going to get some questions.
Yeah. Tim hopes to be reinstated at the time by the IAAF when the suspension's over in 2007. He said that he assumed that as a condition for reinstatement, they would require him to repay the money he earned during that period, because that's what they do a lot of the times. He heard from other runners that were suspended that he was required to return his winnings. So he estimated he owed them about $270,000.
Yeah.
So he's thinking he had to pay them back that money.
Right.
But he doesn't have $270,000. He needs to do something to make money.
Oh, no.
What does he do?
Oh, no. Don't sell drugs.
What does he do?
Don't pimp hoes.
He turns to a friend of his.
Yeah.
This guy, Robinson's his last name. He turns to Robinson, and he's a drug kingpin, this guy, that he knows from Virginia. He's at the time in federal prison in New Jersey. But he gets a hold of this guy, and this guy masterminds.
Call this guy in Newark.
I got this guy in Newark I'm going to check. He's in prison in Newark for drug dealing in Virginia, but I think he's my key to financial salvation. I'm just saying. So
he's my Dave Ramsey.
He's my guy. I'm telling you right now. Tony Robbins all the way.
Yeah.
So this guy masterminds a counterfeit check writing scheme.
Fuck.
Is how they do this. Tim knew the scam was illegal, but they still jumped right in, didn't care.
He's got fines to pay. He doesn't give a shit.
Robinson says that he called him in prison over the phone, that Tim said, quote, "They're messing with my paper, my lifestyle. How am I going to maintain my luxurious lifestyle? Your boy needs to do something because I've been trying to maintain this lifestyle for the next 30 years. You hear me?" So he's saying that shit. He's like, yo, they're fucking with me, man. Robinson said, shit, right away, I'll help you out. He called a guy named Anthony Prince as a guy he talked to in the prison yard. He learned that Prince had basically a check scam involving a New York bank, a bank account in New York that held over $100 million. He's got a check scam on how to work this account. Okay. This is all very complicated, and I'm going to try to give broad strokes and not be too mired down in numbers and check numbers and shit like that.
And too much blueprint on how to do this shit.
And too much. That's up to you fuckers if you want to go out there and do it. Don't blame it on me, though. He called Montgomery, told Montgomery to come to the prison and see him. They laid out the whole logistics of the whole thing. Robinson tells him, quote, "Dog, no joke. If you do not follow the orders of this game, this scheme can land you in prison for several years." Yeah. Like, motherfucker, this ain't playing around.
Don't fuck up.
This isn't illicit street racing. This is for real.
This isn't doping in the fucking Olympics either.
This is federal fucking prison.
Yeah.
This isn't joking around.
No.
But he didn't care. Montgomery said he was all in.
There's no movie made about doping in the Olympics. There's a definite huge blockbuster movie made about stealing and forging checks.
No, good point. No shit.
This is major shit.
This guy said that Montgomery never had not one iota of apprehension about the whole thing. He's like, yeah, great, fuck, check
I'm
fraud,
in.
sure,
Let's
I'm
do
in.
it.
He said he talked to...
I saw that movie. Let's go.
Come on. The guy said he talked to Montgomery and Marion Jones on speakerphone one time, and he said that Jones seemed to have a little bit of...
She was more apprehensive?
Yeah, she had a little bit of like, I don't know about this. Yeah. He said that, quote, Marion was actually the cautious one. Just her responses. Tim, are you sure? Tim, are you sure? But she was in love with Tim, and she followed his lead.
Wow.
So that's how it goes. Over the next few months, these people made $1.7 million
over a few months
on the deposited checks. What they would do, the whole scheme netted more than $5 million. Okay. What they would do is they would write these checks and have, it's very hard to explain, they'd write these checks, they would have Marion or Tim endorse them and deposit them, and that way they could say, like, their whole point was to not do something that was that would raise any like nothing your account can't handle. They're not going to give you a check for $1 million if you got $10,000 in your account.
It's like Office Space.
But if you have $100,000 in your account and you have a check for $30,000 and you endorse it, their thought was if anything ever happens about it, they just go, I don't know, must have been a bad check somebody gave me. I don't even know anything about it.
Right.
That was their plan. So they said if you do it one at a time and do it in amounts that you could manage, you shouldn't get caught. Was the basic deal. But that all adds up, and you have a huge paper trail.
And you're like, where did all this fucking money go?
Yeah, it's insane. One of the guys in the scheme, they raided his home. They found 2 ounces of heroin, $59,000 in cash, guns, all this shit. They also found bank records that linked a guy named Stephen Riddick, who was a 1976 Olympic gold medalist, U.S., who was involved in the scheme also. So there's a lot of people involved in this. He had a drug sentence, this guy, the Riddick guy, and so he was trying to make money. This is what they did. They were like, we need money quick, and so this was their idea. But when the one guy got busted with all those drugs and the guns, he started to sing and give up names and everything. So this guy in prison, Robinson, says that he assures them they're world-class athletes with clean records. Anything the IRS could say, just say bad check. I don't know. Must have been a bad check. I don't know shit. I get checks from everywhere.
Yeah.
And he said that, quote, I also think they're seeing me get away with it and actually having the heart and courage to orchestrate it from prison. And that gave them the edge to where it makes them feel like we can get away with cheating. And that's what it is. So Robinson he told everybody that, he would send each counterfeit check through Prince would send. There's a guy who got busted. This Prince guy. His name, we don't need to get confused with all these names of people you don't know who they are. But this guy, he would send him the counterfeit check it was like an investment into one of their sporting companies. Is the way they do it. That's how they got Jones and him involved. It's a huge mess.
Right.
He just said, like I said, whatever your account could stand, that's how much they'd write the check for without anybody being suspicious. So in April 2006, April 29th to be exact, Montgomery, along with 13 other people, are indicted on fraud charges. This is bad. They're accused of participating in this huge operation, which made over $5 million laundered from 2002 to 2005.
Asshole.
9 people already pled guilty immediately, and the remaining 4, there was jury selection beginning there. So this is getting fucking serious.
Yeah.
This whole investigation, it uncovered this huge thing, stolen checks deposited all up and down the East Coast, New York, Philadelphia, Virginia, down there with those two. Montgomery was considered a middleman. That's all he was.
All right.
Not a ringleader. He was accused of depositing or trying to deposit 2 checks with a combined $775,000 and then giving Stephen Riddick, the ex-Olympian former coach, 3 checks worth $905,000 to deposit. So that he was just moving it through and back and forth. Montgomery's lawyers said that his role was minor in the whole thing, and so they are trying to get him a plea agreement, and they eventually do. And this plea agreement, though, does not obligate him to cooperate at all.
Really?
He doesn't have to testify. He doesn't have to say shit. He doesn't have to do shit. Yeah, I feel like they got the guys who they think are the real criminals, and they're like, fuck this guy, whatever, who cares? He's not going to be a witness at trial. Nothing. On April 9th, 2007, he pleads guilty in federal court in Manhattan to 2 counts of substantive bank fraud and 1 count of conspiracy to commit bank fraud by the U.S. Attorney's Office. Sentencing scheduled for November. The sentencing range on this, the usual agreement that they've made and the agreement that they've made with the prosecution, is somewhere between 37 to 46 months for him. Tim says in court, quote, I sincerely regret the role I played for this unfortunate episode. That's all he says.
That's it?
Yeah. He goes on later on to make a statement saying that he's disappointed people. He's truly sorry. He looks forward to moving
Ladies
past it.
and gentlemen of the jury, whoopsie.
And he wants to be a positive influence on the community. That's what he says. Holy shit. So he had grace.
Yeah. Holy shit, the man was on Oprah. He could have even said that. I was on Oprah,
you guys. On Oprah, guys. Grace, money, famous wife,
Nike
nice
deals.
kid, Nike deal, world's fastest man, all this shit. Unbelievable. Now he's making checks. Marion Jones took her down with this whole thing, too, because now she's involved. And we'll get into her involvement in the whole thing and what they make her do. It's such a fucking mess. These people, how many people are disappointed in him, too?
Oh, God.
Coaches and kids. I feel bad for all these people, Jimmy. I feel bad for all of them. But not nearly as bad as I feel for Tim Montgomery of Tim Montgomery Farm Supplies.
Oh, no.
Over in the UK. Tim Montgomery, who is a Coldwell banker realtor.
Oh, Jesus.
I feel bad for the realtors.
Buy a house from that guy.
Oh, please. He's in Texarkana, Texas.
No,
in
don't
case
buy
you
a
want
house
to do
from
that.
that
You
guy.
don't want to live there. Don't. Jesus Christ. Tim Montgomery, certified payments professional at Pro Media LLC in Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
He's trying.
Tim Montgomery, Vice President of Engineering, Procurement, and Construction at Silver Ridge Power in the greater Boston area. And finally, Dr. Tim Montgomery.
Oh, Jesus.
A nice, sweet-looking veterinarian in New Zealand. Originally a Scot, and he moved to New Zealand.
Wow.
I read all about him for some reason. But yes, so those people I feel bad for.
Yeah, me too.
They are fucked. That's a common name, man. I could have done a trillion.
Yeah,
we could sit here all night for that shit.
Jesus.
Now, after the fraud case, he is there is not he got arrested and released right away.
Yeah.
And when he pled, he's still waiting for sentencing too.
Yeah.
So he's like, oh shit, and he's really scrambling. Let's do an in their own words. We have a couple of them here. In their own words, this is on him with the fraud case and the fact that he needed to make money with that whole fraud case. He said, in their own words, quote, I turned back into a criminal. I got around the people that it was criminals, and they said, hey, how you making all this money? I got involved into a check scheme. I got caught for that. I was in jail for about 3 hours, and I got released. So I'm like, oh, cool. You get in trouble and you got money, you get released, which is the fucking point of this whole show. Yeah. Oh, cool. You get in trouble, you get money, you get released.
That's the problem, sir.
That's the problem. Hey, silver-haired middle-aged white men are everywhere.
Right.
Now, him and Marion Jones have broken up through this, and I know this for a fact because on February 24th, 2007, she marries a sprinter from Barbados named Obadeli Thompson.
Perfect.
And they have their first son in June 2007.
What?
She has a daughter in 2009 with this guy.
Oh, it's all over.
She's like, I am going to need to attach myself to someone else.
I'm so done. I'm having babies with somebody else.
Apparently, she was so pissed at this getting dragged into this fraud scheme. She wanted nothing to do with Tim forever. Would never talk to him again, pretty much. Even though they have a child together, we'll get into what she does with that. So he's awaiting sentencing, and he needs money, and he's fucked, and he doesn't know what to do, and he's like, shit, I'm screwed. What do I do? So we have it in their own words on what he does here. In their own words, quote, I'm needing money to fight the check case, and it started piling on. So I turned to the streets. And I said, hey, what's the biggest seller in the streets? And they say, you want to make the most money in the streets, you got to sell heroin. I was like, oh, that's what we're going to do then.
Oh, my God.
So now he's decided to sell heroin.
Jesus.
This is way beyond what you thought this was going to be, right?
What
he
the
was on
fuck?
He was on Oprah like 10 minutes ago. This is fucking nuts,
and
man.
And he's now selling heroin?
Yeah, he said, he's been around bad people his whole life, and so he needed somewhere. That's where he turned. He's, schemes are always around me, so it was an easy way to do it. There's a lot of money in drugs, he's saying.
Jesus.
That's it. This is a fall, man. This is a fall. So what he does is he sets up meetings to sell large amounts of heroin to people. He sets up a meeting with one particular person 4 times between August 7th and August of 2007 and April of 2008. He sells, each time he meets this person, he sells them more than 100 grams of heroin.
And it's documented very well because why?
Because that's an undercover officer. That is an informant.
Of course it is, you idiot.
Filming things and everything else. He's not good at this. In May of 2008, he's arrested. And I would almost think that someone in the street might have seen this happening and heard that he wanted to do this and said, I can use this to get out of my own case.
Right.
I'm going to fucking set this guy up. Fuck this guy.
This guy's about to have problems too.
Because he's not going to kill me if I do this because he's not a street guy. So I don't have to worry about that. So I can just get out from under my own shit. That's my thing anyway.
And he stopped taking drugs, so he probably can't even catch me.
No, he can't even catch me. I'll outrun that motherfucker. I have a car, so it's fine. Now, May of 2008, he is arrested by federal agents for heroin.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
What a
that's
mess.
rough.
That's the worst.
Whew, he denied knowing anything about heroin sales, calling his arrest, quote, a total surprise.
This is a misunderstanding.
He said, at the time I was in Virginia Beach, I was just trying to promote the nightclub. He bought half interest in a nightclub called Encore. He's like, I'm just trying to promote a nightclub. I don't know what you're talking about. Unbelievable.
We'd like to direct your interest to this fucking video camera that we have here with your fucking face selling an informant heroin.
Yeah, unreal. Hundreds of grams at a time.
You just bought a nightclub with federal money.
Dummy. Fucking assistant U.S. attorney named Eric Hurt said it's a pretty straightforward case, not too tough.
Pretty cut and dry.
Yeah, met 4 times with the confidential informant from August to April of that year, of those years, dealing a total of 111 grams of heroin.
Holy shit.
$8,450 is what that was. They recorded the meetings on audio tape, and in 2 of the cases, also videotape. So just in case the audio wasn't enough, DEA agents also watched the transactions just to make sure everybody knew. The judge, he's asking for bail now because he needs bail to get out and try to get more money. Right. Judge denies Tim bail in May, saying he's a flight risk and a danger to the community.
No doubt.
Yeah. The whole time, DEA agents were observing and recording all of the transactions, monitored the phone calls made to arrange them.
He's stupid. He's so dumb.
They even took the person to meet him in Norfolk and Virginia Beach. It's insane. So, May 16th, 2008, he's still got to get sentenced for fraud here. May 16th, 2008. Now, you got to go back to the check thing.
Yeah.
Check thing, he's getting sentenced for that. Yeah. He gets sentenced to just under 4 years in prison for the federal prison for the check fraud in New York. So he's completely fucked there. Now, on the drug thing, he's completely fucked there also. So he accepts a plea bargain there also to get a minimized sentence with this.
8 years?
He gets 46 months in prison.
Another 46.
So it's basically another 4 years.
So he gets 8 years.
So he's got basically 8 years, and they are not to be run concurrently.
So
they
that's
are consecutive.
Yep.
8 years in
prison. He's going to run 46 and then run another 46.
Then run another 46, exactly.
Brutal.
Now, he's trying to use the excuse that he needed to pay back the Federation to try to be a runner. He's like, I didn't do this because I'm a drug dealer. I did this because I wanted my career back. They said, no.
You still did it.
The Federation said that they never asked him for a dime back.
Wow.
They said also, too, what they do is they have a history of if you are going to have to pay it back, they'll work out an installment plan for you.
You don't have to pay a lump sum.
They said, we do not ask for lump sums. We work out whatever they can pay back and do it. We just want it to come out right.
He didn't have to do this.
Yeah, the head of the drug administration, the drug doping board, said, "Let me say this: it is pretty pathetic to use that as an excuse for why he got involved in a check kiting scheme and all this. In fact, the International Track and Field Federation has been overly compassionate in past years, working out financial repayment arrangements with athletes, like they did with British sprinter Dwayne Chambers, who similarly owed them a bunch of money. So, yeah, they work out an agreement where they get a certain percentage of revenues after they don't even want it now. Before they work out an agreement they'll reinstate you, and then they get a certain percentage of your money until you're paid back, which is the most fair fucking thing ever.
Fair, yeah.
You don't even have to pay it ahead of time. So he says, quote, so it is ridiculous to say that is what has forced him to get into this. Don't fucking blame me.
That's the guy that trusted his friends when he was like, what's going to work? What's going to happen? They're like, you're going to have to pay all this money back. And he's like, I better get into drug running then.
I better do it. Shit.
What an asshole.
Unreal, man. So December 2007, the International Olympic Committee strips Marion Jones of her 5 medals, that is 3 golds and 2 bronze from the 2000 Sydney Games. A month later, she is also sentenced to 6 months in prison.
Yeah, I remember that.
For lying to investigators about her use of performance-enhancing drugs and for her role in the check scam. Also, she's also involved in this because she knew about it. Riddick, the former Olympian who was their coach, was sentenced to 63 months in prison over this whole thing.
Holy shit.
So they're handing down some shit
there. He
got more. Now, 2008, Jones does 6 months in jail and then comes out. Where's she go? Right to fucking Oprah. Wow. She is on Oprah's couch crying her fucking eyes out. And Tim says, what a good actress she is. She passed a lie detector test. That's how good of an actress she is.
Wow.
And he said, I know she was lying, and she passed it. So Marion Jones is full of shit.
Hilarious.
Don't trust her for shit because she can cry to your face, and it doesn't even matter.
Turns on the waterworks. What a woman.
He says he can't get her to even talk to her. He says it's why she doesn't talk to me to this day, because she feels like he brought her into the check scam and the whole deal. And also, too, she never will admit shit. Yeah. She denies everything with the steroids. I'm clean, this, that.
What?
Denies all this shit. She just denies.
I didn't know she was denying it.
It's everybody. There's just a ton of evidence that it happened. Yeah. It's all in
There's
paperwork
no way to deny
and everything.
It, dear.
She will never say it because she wants, I'm clean and I do
Jones.
it right. I'm Marion Jones. Yeah, she's got an ego on her, this one. Now, Tim says he tried to protect her from federal investigators.
Yeah.
Instead, she ended up pretty much flipping on him. He said that she was going to, if this went to trial, she was going to be a witness against him.
Wow.
They had her on camera because they had her on camera walking in and out with the checks in the bank. He said they knew it wasn't my signature on the back of the check. She was saying she didn't know anything about it, and we all know that's not fucking true. They told her, he said, quote, they told her, we've got you on this. If you don't come and tell about the steroid thing, we're going to give you 5 years for perjury. She knew she was lying about steroids. She said Balco grand jury just didn't take She said at the Balco grand jury she didn't take anything, and they had her trapped. What they get Jones for is endorsing and depositing a bogus $20,000 check into her account and then lying to a federal investigator about it. So that's what they got her for. 6 months ain't too bad. I got to be honest.
No.
That's pretty fucking nice.
Yeah.
Probably because she had a couple of small children and things like that. I bet that helped
3.
a lot. Yeah, she's got 3. Well, 2 at this point. The third one was born later.
Okay. Third one was born after this?
2009.
Okay,
Gotcha. They say that Montgomery, in the whole check thing, he deposited about $1.7 million worth of checks. Only was paid about $20,000. That's weak stuff, yeah. So they're all broken up. So now we have an in their own words on the heroin bust and all this. In their own words, quote, when they put the cuffs on me for selling heroin, he always calls it heroin, by the way. When they put the cuffs on me for selling heroin and told me how bad heroin was and how much time I was facing, I really, really wanted to die then. Don't think I can't honestly blame him about that. So like I said, he pleaded guilty. He gets all that sort of thing. He's sentenced in a shit. So I mean, Christ, in October 2008, he sentenced all this. So he's facing almost 9 years with the months it basically is. The prosecutor, I love at the end of the heroin thing, he said in his closing statement, quote, he has closing whatever, quote, he has chosen to ignore every benefit given to him, which is what we say every fucking week. That is crime in sports.
That's what it is.
He has that should be a T-shirt right there. Now,
chosen to ignore
unreal. November 2008, Tim does an interview with Real Sports on HBO
with Brian Gumbel.
Yep. He says that he used illicit drugs. Yep. He used banned substances during the Sydney Olympics. He also says Marion Jones did. Yep. That sort of thing. He ends up admitting at this point, too, about the Asics shoe contract from college. He's basically just clearing out his whole locker of anything that he's ever done wrong.
Yeah.
He's done everything.
I ran illicit fucking foot races.
He's like Chunk in Goonies when he starts admitting shit. He's like, I did this, and I started throwing. That's what he's doing. It's exactly Chunk in Goonies admission thing. We have an in their own words about him in jail. And this is a longer one, and it's pretty wild. So hang in there, guys. It's a mess here. In their own words, quote, I never had an anxiety attack before in my life. I've been in the Olympic Games. I've been in some very big moments. And this, I had an anxiety attack for the first time in my life. And I was really trying to find a way to end my life. I got up on top of the bunk and looked at the commode. And I said, I'm going to fall and try to break my neck or break my head on the commode. Then I was like, ooh, what if I don't succeed? That's going to hurt. So then I cut the sheets up and tried to hang myself. And every time I got to the point of choking, I stopped. I ended up giving my life to God. And from that moment on, right there, jail changed.
Oh, fuck.
And now he found God. He's going to move back to Gaffney any fucking minute now, I swear to God.
He found religion in a toilet. That's
awesome. He found
awesome.
religion in a toilet. Let's see if he finds a wife, too. What do you think here? He said that the first time in his life he finished a book in prison. This is just like Lenny Dykstra. Never read a book until prison. He said he went through the Bible multiple times.
Of course.
And then he also finished the Twilight series.
Oh, Jesus.
Which makes me want to punch him in the face even more.
16-year-old white girl.
Fuck me, man. In prison, his day is he starts work at 6:30 a.m. He's a landscaper.
Jesus.
He sweeps leaves and does all that kind of thing. He will make 12 cents an hour.
Shit, yeah.
12 cents an hour, $44 a month.
Fuck.
Wow. If he serves his entire sentence, he was scheduled to get out on January 6, 2016. So Jamali, who's the mother of his first daughter and all that, she comes to see him with the daughter all the time. She says, quote, I think reality set in on who he was when he was in there. Who truly loved him. He was always a good person. He always meant to do well and just went about it the wrong way. Mm-hmm. So they keep talking. They talk daily, talks to Jamali about the kids and all that sort of thing. But she lives 7 hours away in Gainesville, so she only gets to bring the daughter in about once every other month. Because she lives pretty far. That's far. He heard his daughter, who was 9 while he was in prison, had taken up track. So he was very excited about that. Whenever they visited, he would give her running tips and conditioning tips and try to remind her to have fun out there and just try to be like a coach from there. You take the cream, you rub it on. Prison did not allow him to watch video of his daughter running, so he couldn't see her form or anything like that. He gives an interview in 2009 from an Alabama federal prison, which is insane. He talks about, he talks about all sorts of shit and just kind of, it's a tell-all. He says how him and Marion used to keep their steroids right next to the vegetables in the fridge, the whole deal. He says it's a minimum security prison, but it's also, it's pretty tough there, and he recalls having tough moments in prison since he's been locked up. He said that he had to beat up a pedophile cellmate in a New York prison because otherwise, quote, the other inmates would have thought I was soft.
Yeah, well,
so he had to jack up a pedophile, which is the best thing he's done in this whole fucking thing. So, October 2009, Tim marries Jamali in prison.
Again.
She
came back and he married her again.
Like I said, he's going to get married. This is actually a good move, I feel like.
This is probably the most positive thing yet.
This woman is fucking forgiving.
Yeah, no doubt.
This is a hell of a woman. He should keep her forever because she will put up with some shit and deal with it. Also, too, Barry Bonds' trial begins in March 2011. Mm-hmm. He's convicted in April 2011 on obstruction of justice charge, and the conviction was overturned on appeal, though.
Of course.
So he got away with everything.
Yeah.
Tim's sentence, like he was supposed to be until 2016, is reduced for good behavior and for fulfilling the requirements of the drug program, which he had to join after the heroin conviction, even though he said he never did heroin or drugs or anything.
He wasn't an addict.
That's got to be the worst, to sit in a drug thing and you're not a drug addict. You're like, you fucking people, I can't take it. I don't want to hear your shit anymore.
I can't believe I gave you guys that shit.
Fuck. Yeah, now I know why I didn't. Well, that's probably good. He didn't want to sell it anymore, maybe. Yeah. Now, with 45 days left to serve, knowing he was getting out, he receives papers from Marion Jones seeking full custody of their son.
And what did he do?
He said that she didn't want him around the son at all in his life. He said, quote, "I wanted to fight, but I realized I had to trust in God to take care of Monty in the future."
Oh, God.
He doesn't fight for his
the
son.
Kid up
he doesn't
to
fight
God.
for his son. It's I have to trust God to take care of him in the
God,
future.
Boy.
No, you trust you. That's your kid.
He just
fucking
said,
fight
Jesus,
for it.
take the wheel.
Yeah, fight for your fucking kid and take care of him.
What an asshole.
Unbelievable, man. May 2010, a self-published book comes out from LaShawn Robinson, that guy in prison who started this check scam, called Broken Silence of the Elite. And it's he talks all about how he taught Montgomery how to bilk money out of people and accounts and, write bad checks and all that shit. It's kind of like a Catch Me If You Can for ghetto assholes. Yeah. So now this whole thing, she said, now she's talked to him on the phone, Marion Jones and all this.
Yeah.
He says in the book how, she played a minor role, but she did know they were forged and she didn't know what was going on. They asked her about it and she said, "No, I don't know who he is. No comment. There's nothing else to comment on."
I don't know who he is.
She doesn't even know his name. She doesn't even know who the fuck he is.
She just fucking washes her hands of everything.
Done. Moving on. Now, May 2012, Tim is released to a halfway house where he stays for 6 weeks in the halfway house. Then is released for house arrest after that. He has to wear a monitor, ankle monitor, frequent check-ins with probation officer. While he was in the halfway house for 3 months, he was a total of 3 months in the halfway house, I'm sorry. He worked construction and condition of his release, so he's construction working. Jamali, his wife, said, quote, "At first it was hard because I was used to running the household and I was in charge of everything, and then when he came home, he wasn't used to being a dad or a husband." So he pops out of prison. Plus, he hasn't been with this person in so long. It has to be like, there he is now. It's like that had to be the weirdest thing.
And he's back.
Yeah, and he's back. Now, after prison, we have an in their own words on this. In their own words, quote, "When I came home, my kids didn't know me. So I'm getting to know my kids. I'm going back, taking care of my parents because they had to take care of me. And I understand that family is everything. I understand that my actions, I'm responsible for them. I want to use my knowledge for good. There's nothing else I want. I had everything else. Fast cars. I had money, had clothes, had jewelry, traveled the world. I still ended up at the bottom." Yeah. So October 2nd.
My favorite.
I still ended up at the bottom. Fuck. And here he is. October 2nd, 2013. He's fully released from custody. Of house arrest and all that. He will be on probation for 4 years. So as of right now, he's still on probation in 2017 in July, as where we are now, for a few more months. Tim and Jamali have 2 children together. They have another child after this, and then she has two children from a previous marriage, and he adopted one of them also.
Just one?
I think just one because they didn't have a father or something like that.
Okay, so the other father's still around. It's not like, I like that kid better than you.
No, he adopted her youngest daughter is what it was. So she has, so it's...
leaves the other one up to God.
Leaves the other one it's up to God, man. That's all you can do. That's what you have to do.
Yeah.
That's what I do all the time. Anything that happens, that's what people should do. Like your kid's missing, like where's little Johnny? Leave it up to God.
Jesus, take the wheel.
It's all good, man. It is all good. Unbelievable.
I can't get enough.
He says that his fall made him closer to his family.
Yeah.
Jamali says that the Tim that she knew 10 years ago would have preferred to go out partying or go, hang out with his friends, but now he opts to take his kids to Starbucks or to visit the father of somebody he knows in prison or in the hospital. In prison. Prison's on the mind. He's getting a chance to spend time with his kids. They're all saying he's doing well. He starts a fitness company called Numa Speed, Numa. in Gainesville, Florida, which is where they live. He trains people. He trains everyone from serious competitive runners that are like, whatever, like younger runners, to just secretaries that are pissed off they can't lose 25 pounds in 2 weeks after having a baby. Just whoever the fuck, you know, anything. He has about 80 clients, he says. He charges $50 an hour for individual, $35 for a group. But he's had problems with parents. He's had to win over parents because they don't want to leave their kids with a fucking heroin dealer, which is fair. He says about the whole thing, though, this is his in their own words, quote, "NUMA stands for never underestimate my ability. I underestimated that my ability as a human being, as a person. I can only see myself as an athlete. My performance was me. And when you only see your performance as being you and not you being you, then you're not successful." Okay. What the fuck are you talking about? Jesus Christ, you've thought about this way too long. That's a guy who was in prison thinking way too much.
Yeah.
Shut
Sounds
the
like
fuck
you had
up.
8 years to think about that.
God damn it. Jesus Christ, man. That is wild. He says there's always going to be people that don't want their kids around him, but what are you going to do? A former sprinter that competed against him, and he's now a track analyst for NBC, named Otto Bolton, said, quote, "There are always going to be people who would say, I don't want my kid near that guy."
Yeah, how about his ex-wife?
Yeah, how about his exactly? How about Marion Jones? I know Tim Montgomery very well, where I would say that I think that would be a mistake. To me, Tim's story needs to be out there.
Oh, well, we're putting it out there.
We're putting it out there. Don't worry. He's at all of it, by the way. I don't know if he wanted all of it.
Story is
I don't know
there.
if he wanted everything, probably, but we're going to include it. 2017, suspended Cleveland Browns wide receiver Josh Gordon can't stop smoking weed.
Fucking pothead.
Constantly getting suspended. Starts working out with Tim Montgomery as a speed coach and trying to resume his career. He's in a drug suspension always.
Yeah, perpetual.
Yeah. Now, crazy thing, Tamaya, the daughter, they became very close with Tim, and then she fractured her femur and had to use a wheelchair for 6 months.
Oh,
she
shit.
fractured it so bad. Tim got right in there. He tried to help. The leg healed up, and Tamaya started running again. In her first meet of the year, he finally got to see her, and she ran the 100 in 12.48 seconds.
That's fast.
Which is hugely fast for a 13-year-old girl. That's so fast. Fucking insane for a 13-year-old girl.
Who broke her fucking femur?
Her just coming back from a broken femur.
Jesus.
Jamali said about the whole thing, she says, quote, "He really wasn't interested in us. He was more focused on what he was wearing to the club and what kind of car he was going to drive. Now after prison, he takes time for them. He makes quality time for them. It's something I could have never, ever dreamed he'd do, and it touches my heart and theirs."
Aww.
And even in their own words on him and this whole thing, he says, quote, in their own words, quote, "Trying to get to where disgraced Tim Montgomery has been charged with a false start. He's back in the blocks and winning the race. I didn't lose the first part of my life. I just made a bad choice. But I won't lose the second part of my life. I don't want to be remembered as the world's fastest man. I want to be remembered as Tim Montgomery, the man who gave his life to the Lord, and he's such a better man now." The Lord.
His book is going to be called False Start. You know it.
You know it. He gives his life to the Lord so much that they now do fluff pieces on him on the CBN network.
Jesus.
Christian Broadcasting Network. Where it's like an ad for the 700 Club and then a fucking Tim Montgomery fluff piece.
And they're like, donate money to us.
If you want to get with Tim Montgomery, you can. You can go to apbspeakers.com. That's public and motivational speaking.
What?
You can rent Tim to come speak to you.
Amazing.
Here's how they pitched that. In his speech, Tim Montgomery motivates all to understand the significance of discipline, hard work, and setting parameters for success, especially when dealing heroin.
You bet.
It's not in there. He inspires his audiences by explaining you are the only one in the way of your success. Once people around you see your determination, eventually they have no choice but to support you or get out of the way.
You bet.
However, you must always keep your eye on the prize, which is you in capital letters. As he shares his visions with his audience, no matter what age, the takeaway is the same. Good choices have great consequences, and your first choice should be the success of you. It's never too late to make the right choice and begin your journey to the top.
Oh, boy.
Grace. Part 2. He's really trying to make it Grace Part 2.
Unbelievable.
Holy shit, that's Tim Montgomery.
How much did they charge for him?
They do not say. You have to contact to find out.
You got to get a quote.
You have to get a quote because it depends on travel. It depends on the thing. I assume a shitload. And Jesus is getting a cut of this fucking shit. Jesus is so getting 15%. It's not even goddamn funny. Not even 10. He's like, I want a little extra. You're using my name pretty hard. Pretty fucking hard. I'm not just agenting this shit.
Me too.
Yeah, you're on the goddamn 700 Club website. Hand it over.
Unbelievable.
Wow, what a mess, right? The
Run
Olympics. Fucking Olympics, man. These guys, it's dirtier than anything else.
Unbelievable.
Dirtier than football, the Olympics.
It's really... But I don't care.
I don't give a shit. No.
All that shit.
The drug stuff didn't bother
fine.
me at all.
Whatever. You start
Check
passing
fraud,
checks
heroin.
and costing me money because it's my bank too.
Well, not
Granted,
only that.
it's fucking federally insured, but that's
still.
It's costing
if
people money.
If everybody did it, it would dry that shit up in a heartbeat.
Ruin everything.
It's ridiculous.
And then heroin, you're fucking killing people.
It's fucking heroin, for Christ's sake. I mean, give me a goddamn break. But that's
unbelievable.
He did it. If you like that story,
you
can get on iTunes.
Holy shit.
Give us a review. Give us 5 stars. Tell us you're following instructions, following directions. You can go to patreon.com/crime and sports, and you can make a donation there. That'd be excellent. Lots of rewards for you. You can go to PayPal. You can do crimeandsports@gmail.com over there, and you can drop us a donation, a one-time if you feel like
doing.
Whatever you feel like doing.
We
have, by the way, a list of some amazingly fine people.
Is it deep?
That's deep that Jimmy needs to read off right now.
I will read it right now.
People.
The people are Heather Budd, Selena, Gretchen Oswald, David Smith, Brittany Harrington, Tyler Card, Amy Reiners, Dixon Balls, which is my favorite, made up because it's got to be made up.
Dixon Balls, baby.
Dixon Balls. Milo Grant, Sean Kerrigan, Peyton Shaver, anonymous donor. I could say where, but I'm not going to.
Thank you. We appreciate it. We know who you are, and we thank you.
A big one, so
you're
thanks.
You're amazing.
Man.
That helps a lot, honestly, really.
Katie L., Jamie Crawford, Dan Gardner, David Newsom, Naomi James, Arthur Thurman, Monica Robertson, Casey Turk, Rebecca Doe, John Joyce in the UK, Marjolaine Spitz or Spitzy or Spitzy. Marjolaine, thank you. Carrie Clark and Lisa Morrow. But my favorite email of the week was from Jake Hinka.
This is cool.
He's a United States veteran, and so on our other podcast we mentioned
Small Town Murder, which you should be listening to.
We mentioned that the United States military nowadays is nothing compared to World War II.
You have to give context. The guy, there was a man who was killed, an 80-year-old man.
You got to give context.
It's not just saying they were nothing compared to this. This guy fought in the Battle of the Bulge.
Yeah,
he fought fucking Hitler off. Like, literally fought Hitler. So we were like, look, American military, we love you guys to death, and you guys are amazing, but you could kill 1 million terrorists, and it's not fucking Hitler.
Right.
It's not your fault. There's nothing you can do about that.
So James said that, and this guy wrote to us, Jake Hinka, and he said, I was listening to your Eufaula, Oklahoma episode of Small Town Murder, in which you mentioned that the modern soldiers don't have shit on World War II vets. As a former soldier who served in Afghanistan, I have to say you're absolutely right. Those magnificent bastards deserve the moniker the greatest generation for more reasons than I can ever begin to list. That said, you guys are amazing. I love both your podcasts. Stay awesome. Jake from Michigan, not from State Farm. So thank you, Jake.
We love you,
for
Jake.
Listening.
Thank you. Thank you for everything you do. Appreciate your
You're
service and everything else, man.
Hero.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you. And thank you for backing us up on that and not saying, hey, fuck you guys. You went, hey, no, that's logical. Yeah, Hitler's Hitler. I mean, you can't. Like I said, even if it's a 1 and 1A, it's a Hitler.
Right.
Fucking Hitler's going to be the one always. Hitler's 1, and everything else is 1A.
The 2 most famous people in history. Do you know who they are? They are Jesus and fucking Hitler.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You can say Hitler to anybody. Yeah. Not only do you know who he is, you know his fucking facial hair. You could draw a picture of his ass, which we can't do for Jesus because we have no fucking idea. But at least Hitler, everyone's like, oh, yeah, you're thinking of hair in the face. Yeah, it's perfect.
They don't say he's got the Michael Jordan mustache. They say he's got the Hitler mustache.
Hitler mustache is a thing. Holy shit, guys. It's been a wild week. Wild week. You should get a hold of us on social media if you could. That would be at Crime and Sports on Instagram, Twitter, everywhere you want. Facebook.com/Crime and Sports, crimeandsports@gmail.com. Why don't you give them your social media? Tell these fine people where they can reach you, Jimmy.
At Wisman Sucks, WHISMAN Sucks on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. And thank you guys for sending all the amazing dog pictures and cat pictures and pet pictures. That was a fun weekend. Thanks, guys.
Yes.
I appreciate you involving me in that.
If you would like some pictures of the cat, Ed, let me know. I'll send you a picture of the cat. Sweetest fucking cat in the world.
He's amazing.
You're gonna need to clip those balls though. He's got a big pair of cat balls on him.
Holy shit, are they?
It's impressive.
They're dog balls.
It's impressive.
That cat has dog's balls.
He's cool as fuck. Also, too, very good with other pets.
He is.
He's very good with other cats. He used to there was a little kitten that used to come by, and he used to let it eat his food. He would back up, and that's pretty rare for a cat.
He wanted to play with Frankie too,
and he wants to play with my dog a lot. I have a 100-pound dog, which is another reason why we can't have a cat because Frankie the Crime and Sports dog. Frankie the Crime and Sports dog on Instagram, you can look. She's a fucking monster.
She's
I can't have an 8-pound cat running around the house with that monster in there. But without further ado, guys, I am at Jimmy P is Funny. If you want to get a hold of me or just copy and paste my name from the show description like a smart person,
do that.
But beyond that, guys,
Don't
excited.
be a World War II vet and try to fucking... No need. Don't try to spell his name.
Don't
be
do
a
that.
hero.
Don't be a hero.
Just copy and paste.
Damn it. Live from the Crime and Sports Studios. We will see it. If you like crime and sports, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. We're going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles,
A big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud,
sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
with a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.